Hello, everybody. This is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jazz Comics. And we have a newcomer to the writing circle tonight. Everybody, welcome Danny. Hello, Danny.
Hello.
Welcome.
Woohoo! Yay!
Yay. So, yeah, let's see. Let me go to the scripts tab of the Discord, link in the description, and you put in
Cygnus Imperium.
Okay, tell us about Cygnus Imperium.
So, Cygnus Imperium is a project I'm currently working on. I just got full line art in for the first chapter of it.
Okay.
And I have already written a couple of more in advance. And I checked out your last week's stream, and I'm on the Discord.
Great.
And so I saw that there was an opportunity to post it and actually get feedback from humans. Right. And you guys are humans, and Preston, you're a good writer.
Thank you. I do my best.
Larry and John, I haven't read too much of your stuff aside from what I saw, if anything, on the stream last week. Sorry.
Larry has decided that his talents are most appropriate for porn. So,
Me?
No, John.
Oh, John. Yes.
Whenever are we? It's Demonatrix tonight, right?
Yeah, well, we're doing Demonatrix.
So you will see.
Yes.
There we go.
Your eyes shall be open.
Go ahead.
In the world of Daz Comics, what sells is porn.
You're right.
So I'm just kind of like, I'm just going to embrace it and.
Well,
see what happens.
I think it's true of like every genre. If you're like, what is the cheapest thing I can make that has the least production value and the highest demand?
Right.
I think that whatever that category is, I think we have to call it porn by definition, just because porn tends to dominate it. But yeah, so his comics tend to have lots of sexy situations.
Cool.
Think the X-rated version of Guinevere.
There you go. So yeah, we'll have that, and we'll have yours. And do we have any other pages tonight?
Larry, didn't you post something?
Yeah, I posted the last couple.
Fantastic.
pages.
Okay, so we'll have 3 different scripts to go over.
Yeah, so I submitted a full script, so do not in any way feel obligated to read through all 22 pages worth of art direction.
Well,
don't worry, we won't.
We won't.
we do 10 pages here, so you can post more, but it doesn't mean we're going to do them.
Right. So yeah, we're going to do.
You guys can rip it apart on the Discord.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
we're going to rip it apart on the screen. That's what we're here for.
Now you say that, but a lot of times, particularly with we have a certain attrition of new writers, and I have not yet looked at your pages yet, so we're about to get into all that. But a lot of times, writers will come and like there are certain things that are supposed to be, like stuff that good writers do, and good writers like avoid passive voice and all that good jazz. And, like they don't have big blocks of text and whatnot. So a lot of times, like a newcomer will come and I'll give them like, hey, you got big blocks of text and a lot of passive voice and stuff. And then we don't see them again. So I don't know. Writing is tough. You got to submit yourself to feedback, and that can be uncomfortable sometimes, but I think the rewards are worth it, and I don't think I'm unduly harsh.
So are you suggesting that you'll be pleasantly surprised if I stick around?
There you go. Yes,
because there's a pandemic on. This is a challenge I'm willing to rise to.
Fantastic.
There we go.
Yeah, I've just been told by more than one person that I'm a tough taskmaster.
That's why I'm here.
There we go. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think it has been said many times in this stream that if you want to actually be successful in this, you have to learn to take criticism.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to read the first 10 pages of what's called Cygnus Imperium.
Cygnus Imperium.
Cygnus Imperium. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here's title page, and then we go straight into page 1, panel 1.
I like that already. We
like
don't get
it
3
already.
pages of backstory.
Exactly. Yeah.
Throw us into the action.
Yeah, I've been creating a style sheet at the suggestion of my editor, which I can share with you guys if you want to see it. But the style sheet is where I'm putting like all the stuff that people typically put at like the start of the script. And I find like as I'm writing it down, like, you know, specifically what the mechs look like, you know, the theme, the look, you know, all that stuff, you know, the way the society's put together, I put that all in the style sheet. And as I'm writing it, I'm like, oh, now I need to go put this back in the script. So it is useful, and certainly the art team will benefit from it. But I don't like those big information dumps. You know, I don't like putting the style sheet basically at the start of the script. So, yeah. All right. So, all right, page 1, panel 1. We're going to read 10 pages. Who would you like to narrate? Danny.
Sure.
Oh no, I was saying. All right, so you may narrate if you would like, or you can elect.
I'm game for whatever.
Okay.
I know this is a group activity, so.
Yes.
Well, we usually let the writer pick the parts. So,
okay.
As the writer, who would you like to narrate? Who would you like to do certain characters?
Let's see then.
Do we need to have an audition?
No.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Right.
So let's have Larry narrate.
All right.
Sure.
And then John, Preston, and I can alternate characters. This is a pretty limited location, so there's 4 main characters and a robot.
Okay.
I think is pretty much everyone we got.
Awesome. Okay, Larry, take it
away. Okay. Page 1, panel 1. Exterior, the void. Ulara? Did I say that right?
Ulia?
Okay. Ulia 42, Planetscape. Splash. The Paradox flies triumphantly through the void, leaving a chain of explosions behind it from the protector ships it has just destroyed. Caption. Computer readout. Planetscape. Ulia 42 463 AIF.
And then Eric, who wants to be Eric?
I'll do Eric.
Go for it.
Woo! All targets neutralized. We're clear.
I guess I'll do Thorn. Great shooting, Eric. Let's get out of here. We have a treaty to ratify.
Title card.
Page 2.
The Paradox Road by Danny Gorney. Page 2. Panel 1.
That's a header. You're not going to have to read that every time, are you?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Good. Page 2, panel 1, interior, Paradox Bridge. Worm's eye view. Thorn sits in the captain's chair, enjoying the moment while Ravana hovers behind his left shoulder disapprovingly.
I'll do Ravana. Not so fast, boy.
Panel 2, wide. Thorn turns to Ravana to argue while waving the data crystal in his face. We see that the bridge of the Paradox is quite small, while there are open seats by the front view screen for helmsman and specialist. The only one there is Igo, manning some controls in the background using some type of high-tech tool.
Who's Thorn? Am I Thorn?
I think you were Thorn.
Yes.
I am Thorn. Okay. What do you mean we need to return to Tezos and ratify the treaty with Calypso? That's the only way to defeat Duke Argan and take back control of this sector.
No, we need to jump to Cygnus and retake my throne world. I've been gone for too long.
You're insane! You think you just stroll back into your capital after being gone 300 years? And what? Nobody will bat an eye.
Panel 3.
I'm doing my best to give emphasis to the
This is good. Okay, no,
Continuing, but Ravana looks defeated. A discussion's gotten so loud that it's distracted Igo from his systems check. He turns his head to observe.
Master Ravina, Thorn may well be correct in his assessment.
Fine.
let's get everyone in here. Call it a council meeting. Yes?
Yes.
Page 3, panel 1, the interior paradox bridge. Eric and Calamity climb up the ladders to the bridge. Eric's jubilant. Calamity seems happy and content.
Hey, boss.
Who's Calamity? I'll do Calamity, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, we double up sometimes.
You like how this baby's running?
All right, Calamity, great work with those protectors.
Panel 2, Eric and Calamity are settled in. Igo serves coffee.
It was just one mothership, and they had no idea we were coming. Might not be so easy next time.
I don't know how Ravana managed to build this thing under his farm on that wasteland planet, but it feels like it's fresh off the assembly line.
That's some of the things we need to talk about. We have 2 options on what to do next.
Panel 3, focus on Thorn and Ravana as Thorn begins to explain the situation.
We have a note that the name Ravana is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Yeah.
Counting on the first 2 fingers as he's holding up. Sorry.
I think we should jump to Tazos, ratify the treaty with Calypso, and take the fight back to Argent and his goons.
I think we should jump straight to Cygnus and retake my throne world. Plus,
Panel 4, Ravana looks sinister.
it's my ship.
Panel 5, Thorn, Eric, and Calamity are taken aback. Igo hovers over them. This is a tense moment. Page 4, panel 1, Eric speaks first passionately.
Ravana, I don't think that's the best idea. The designs of the Paradox weapons are weapon systems and are 3 centuries old, and we'd best be prepared to fight. We shouldn't do that unless we expect to win.
Panel 2, Calamity speaks next, logically.
Sir, I appreciate what you've done for us, but Arik's right. We at least need to test every system, and we should test your story, too. Unless you think that people are just going to bow down to you simply for appearing in an unknown ship claiming to be a dead man.
Panel 3, Igo speaks up.
Master Ravana, I find myself in agreement. The optimal path to attaining your goals is that with the fewest variables. We should test our capabilities on a weaker foe.
Panel 4, Thorn turns to Ravana.
Well then, Emperor, you will listen to the words of your council. Or will you? Yeah, will you listen to the words of your council?
Page 5, panel 1. Ravana swallows his pride to answer Thorn.
Yes, damn it. Arik, review all combat systems. Calamity, transvoid Tezos, and cancel our request for pickup. Then do a full systems diagnostic. Ego, prepare the medbay and quarters. Thorn, stay here. And then we have bloodthirsty look.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Narrator's falling down on the job.
Sorry, I was reading.
Okay.
Panel 2, Ravana has gleefully bloodthirsty look. As a gleeful bloodthirsty look. Sorry.
And I totally misspelled something. If we are to begin my conquest with the liberation of Tezos, we have much to discuss.
Panel 4, Thorn points to the ladders authoritatively.
What are you waiting for? Should be question mark. All hands get to work.
Panel 4, everyone's up and at 'em.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, we had good timing there.
Page 6, panel 1, exterior, Ulia 14 planetscape. The Paradox orbits the planet silently amidst a field of space junk from the destroyed protector ship, including some dead bodies. Calamity, in a spacesuit tethered to the ship, is performing repairs to the sensor array on the head. Locator caption 2 cycles later.
And there. That should be enough to solve the feedback loop in the long-range sensors.
Great work, Calamity. Let's get you back home.
Panel 2, Paradox airlocks. Calamity is past the airlock, taking off his helmet on his spacesuit, meeting with Eric, who looks impatient.
Hey, Calamity, you mind giving me a hand with testing out the railgun's targeting computer?
Sure, Arik. After lunch?
Panel 3, Paradox Bridge. Thorn and Ravana are on the bridge, pointing at a map of the galaxy. The map is focused on Duke Argent's domain, centered on the Avnov system.
Let me get this right. Outside these 5 systems, Argent is opposed by...
The Marchioness Tatiana. I hope I did that somewhere.
Marchioness. It's the female of Marquis.
Oh, okay. Marchioness?
Tiana? I think it's Tiana.
Marchioness Tatiana. Tiana?
Tiana, yeah.
Marchioness Tiana. She's fierce, but territorial. I wouldn't expect her to attempt an invasion.
I love your use of bold. That means your treaty with Calypso represents a serious threat to Argent's authority. Done right, it could be an opportunity to liberate the whole sector.
Exactly.
Page 7. Paradox Torpedo Room, Panel 1. Eric is on her back underneath a torpedo bay, fixing a fitting with a wrench, while Calamity loads a torpedo into an empty bay. Both are wearing overalls/uniforms covered in grease.
That's the last of them.
Great. Let me just get this loading magnet leveled.
Panel 2, Paradox Mess Hall. Like everywhere else inside the Paradox, space is at a premium in the mess hall. The walls are full of cupboards and cabinets, and the cooking surfaces look like they'd fold into the wall for extra space. Everyone sat down at a table for lunch except Igo, who is carrying a bowl full of turnips. Don't show what's in it, covered with a lid. Eric is looking over at Igo eagerly while Thorn and Calamity have a conversation. Ravana waits patiently.
How's the systems check?
All green except for the jump drive. Our FTL engines have an odd design. Most void ships are so large, their only FTL option is hyperspace. Paradox folds space. We should be able to travel faster and more accurately than the enemy. I'm sure you're eager to get going. Let's give it a test after lunch. Ego, what's for lunch?
Ego places the bowl in the middle of the table. Eric looks on it nervously. In nervous anticipation, sorry. Yeah.
Not turnips, not turnips, not turnips.
Panel 4. Ego pulls off the lid with a flourish. Steam wafts out. We can't see the turnips yet. Panel 5. The bowl is full of turnips.
Uh-oh.
Eric is so disappointed. She's covered her face with one hand. Eric looks excited.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pickles. I'm afraid there's no sex in this.
No sex in this one. Sorry, guys.
Just turnip porn.
Yeah.
Steamed Sulian turnips. Why?
You might not like them, but they'll keep you not liking them for a very long time.
Panel 6. View from the view screen so we can see everyone's faces. Everyone's assembled on the bridge, eager to test the ship's jump capabilities. Calamity and Eric have taken the position at the consoles in front of the view screen.
Ravina, would you do the honor?
Load in coordinates. Outside the orbit of the farthest planet in this system.
Aye, loaded.
Helm, prepare folding engines for nano jump. Jump in 3, 2, 1.
Panel 7, exterior, the void. Focus panel. Space folds around the paradox as it begins to jump through the void.
Jump. I wasn't loud enough for that. Jump!
All right, there you go.
You got to put it in bold.
Yes.
Page 8, panel 1, exterior, the void. Outside the Ulia system. Empty space around the Ulia system. There is an asteroid visible in the distance, but the rest of the sky is full of stars. Caption, moments later. Panel 2, paradox appears. Panel 3, interior paradox bridge. Back to the bridge. Everyone's cheering except for Ego.
Jump complete. Woo!
Whoa.
Panel 4. One of the consoles on the bridge explodes
Uh-oh.
/ works. Nobody is hurt, but it is shocking to whoever's near it. Sound effect. Boom.
What was that?
Damn. Thought I calibrated for power surges.
Panel 5. Now everyone's looking really worried. Sound effects. Boom.
Calamity. That's no power surge. Scans.
Page 9. Panel 1. Exterior, the void. Paradox faces off against a fleet of small pirate ships.
Pirates.
Led by
We got some
a large-
pirates.
Yeah,
Not
there you go.
pirate port, but some pirates.
Exactly.
Led by a larger pirate mothership, the gang is called the Grinners. So feel free to have fun with the design and decals on the ship. Small explosions on the Paradox show they're being shot at.
Is it gonna do they get like the skull and crossbones painted on the side of the ship?
I mean,
There you
why
go.
not?
Why
right?
not?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Or like, skull and Cheshire cat teeth. Who knows?
There you go.
It's my illustrator's problem.
Yeah.
We're under attack. Shields at 91%. 8 ships on short-range scanners.
What? How?
They must have been hiding behind that asteroid.
Love it.
Panel 2, Interior Paradox Bridge. Eric's pointing at the view screen, which shows the pirate ships threatening the Paradox.
All right, let's see if we can do this. Damned scrounger gangs. If only the protectors would have done their jobs.
There you go. Continue.
But I want to do. Sometimes you're doing bold, and sometimes you're doing block. I feel like stylistically you should be one or the other.
Yes.
Yeah. Eric, got targets?
Got a target. Want some blood?
Let's show them what we've got.
Panel 3, Exterior, the void. The Paradox gives a soccer kick right through one of the smaller pirate ships. Panel 4.
Wait, what?
Yeah. What's a soccer
sorry.
kick?
What?
So,
I mean, are we firing soccer balls now?
I mean, why not, right?
This is a giant mech that just punches spaceships a lot.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
makes sense, yeah.
This is definitely a punches spaceships type project.
Okay,
Okay.
it's interesting. Panel 4, Interior Paradox Bridge. Ravana pointing at the screen and yelling.
They're getting into some kind of formation. Evasive maneuvers.
You heard the man.
More ships coming in on scanners. They're surrounding us.
Panel 5, Exterior, the void. The smaller pirate ships have surrounded the Paradox in an extremely wide circle.
They have us surrounded. What are they waiting for?
Page 10. Panel 1, Exterior of the void. The small pirate ships have restrained the Paradox with steel cables coming from all directions.
Sirs, the scroungers have us restrained, and they're hailing us?
Let's see who we're dealing with. There we go.
Panel 2, Interior Grinner Mothership. A flat angle.
Hold on. All right. So, okay, got it. All right, got it.
A flat angle close mid shot of Mikala Snitch Rees, captain of the space pirate gang, the Grinners, leaning forward in her seat with a wide grin as she mocks her prey. She's hot.
There we go.
Wearing a high crop sleeve shirt with Jolly Roger skulls over her breasts.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Skin tight booty shorts and high tech pants. There's
All
your
right.
porn.
Okay. Go for the low humor. I've got you guys now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I am Micaiah Snitch Reyes, captain of the Grinners. My associates have your vessel restrained.
I am Captain Hawthorne of the.
Silence! I kill you. We have the reclamation contract for this sector. By intersystem law, you and your ships are salvaged by rights. Surrender, and we might let you live.
Panel 3, Interior Paradox Bridge. View of the crew reacting to this. They're very worried.
Resist and become our playthings. All right, 10 pages.
Woo!
Okay, woo! All right. So I'm going to say that. So was there other issues or other stories before this?
So this is the first 10 pages of issue 2.
Okay, yeah, because I felt like there was exposition that was missing, but if this is issue 2, then that would make some sense.
There's exposition that's elsewhere.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So this mostly got written before I ended up starting with getting art. Issue 1 is in production.
Awesome.
You need to find a colorist for it.
Yeah.
And we didn't trip up too much reading it, so I'm feeling pretty confident. But like, give me all you got, guys.
Sure, okay. I'm gonna say you've written at least 2 screenplays.
Nope.
No? Okay.
I've written quite a few comics, and a couple of screenplays, actually. Yeah, at least 2 screenplays. Damn it! Sorry. No. Okay. So I just
You've written at
remembered.
least 2 screenplays. No, but I've written a couple. All right. Fine.
Yeah, no, I just remembered I wrote some screenplays this year.
Okay.
So
There we go. Yeah, because this is
2020 was just one big log.
fair enough.
It's still March 2020, right?
Right. Yeah. All right. Because this is screenplay format, which it's fine. Although it's written in comic format, but it's still using a lot of screenplay conventions. And you run into some problems where you're indicating actions which would be appropriate to a screenplay, like opening or whatever, like the character is taking actions. Here, let me show you this. Let me give you just one little example. Panel 4. One of the consoles on the bridge explodes, sparks. Nobody is hurt, but it's shocking to whoever is near it. That's fine in a screenplay. But in a comic book, in one panel, are we showing the explosion? Because like this would be I think this is 2 panels worth, right? We need the explosion, and then we need the reaction of people saying, "Oh wow, we're okay." It's kind of strange if you have that combined in one panel where you have an explosion, but people are looking and going, "Oh, we're all right," because you feel like as the reader they should be reacting to the explosion. So
to add to that, when I got the feeling that like I didn't even get the point of the explosion because I'm like it was like an explosion that happened way over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like the characters are miles away from the explosion and they're just able to stare at it and be like, "Oh, that's interesting." I didn't get a sense of danger in that panel based on the way it's written.
Right. So I feel in terms of writing for comic script, you need to be more exact on what your penciler is gonna draw, and that will give you better results. Because if your screenplay format in terms of actions and stuff is going to be a little loosey-goosey in terms of like what moment over that like 3-second arc of action is the penciler going to select and go, and here's what we're going to draw. So just my caveat there. It's an enjoyable story. We've got space action and giant robot combat, and pirates and sexy booty shorts and explosions and space warps. I mean, like this is everything you want, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right, Larry, what do you think?
Very cool. Nice to see a sci-fi action story. So you don't get much of that, but that's fine.
Oh,
yeah, we got a bunch of people now.
We have more commenters.
So I think the only comment I really have for like a criticism, we had a couple panels where you were sort of expressing an internal emotion as an action, and I don't know how well that would translate into a image, if you know what I mean.
It rarely does. With this particular illustrator I've got, it actually helps him quite a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
This is definitely like to a degree one of those scripts written for like one person.
Yeah, yeah. Because I would put in stuff like he's got a concerned look on his face or something like that. I write that stuff all the time, but yours was a little bit more nuanced, I think, in some of the stuff I read. But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
John.
Thought it was an enjoyable story. I didn't feel completely lost when it started. Got a pretty decent sense of the characters, not having read issue 1, so that's pretty good. anybody new that picks this up will get a pretty solid sense of who your characters are and all of that going on. So I thought that was pretty good. Overall, the grammatically it was pretty decent. There was something passive voice in it, but I didn't feel like any of it was at a point where it was overly distracting. You had a fair bit of active voice, which was good, and then there was occasionally times when you reverted into passive, which, it could, you can tighten that up if you so desire. It sounds like you're already ready to go into production for this, so that may be a moot point now. But I did notice that. I did feel like the dialogue was a little too expositional. Just in the beginning, the way the characters were talking to each other, they didn't talk to each other the way I would imagine normal people would talk to each other. It was very much like, I can't really think of an example, but just the first couple pages, all the dialogue was basically just expositing information rather than people actually engaging in a conversation. It was kind of hard to get a sense of any type of dread or intimidation, or like I didn't really feel in danger for those particular characters. One thing that jumped out at me was you mentioned something about being 300, you've been gone for 300 years, which makes me wonder that if this person is 300, it's been gone for 300 years, then obviously they live longer than 300 years. So while 300 years is a lot of time to us, it's only long to us because we live an average of 80 years. If these people live an average of 3,000 years, it's only a tenth of their normal life, so it's not really that much. Or if they only live 500 years, then, okay, I can see that being a more of a longer time. I don't know. That was just one of those things that kind of jumped out at me. Like, it jumped out at me that, oh, that's interesting. This person has an unusually long lifespan. But then it gets me thinking, well, if everybody in their society has an unusually long lifespan, how long is 300 years actually to them in comparison? And I didn't really get a sense of that it was, I mean, I know they said it was a really long time, but I didn't really get a sense of how long that actually was, I guess.
I totally feel you there. I addressed that a little bit in issue 1. Arik, Calamity, and Thorn are actually quite surprised by this. And he's got this legend of being Ravana the Immortal. And then I addressed it actually later on in this issue. There's a flashback to how he developed this technology to live forever.
So the people
but I do like having a human reaction to it, and having more of that, I think, is going to help bring life to that dialogue that you mentioned.
So, but the people then that he is the leader of, that he's left for 300 years, they live a normal lifespan?
Yes.
So that means that all of the people that he left are all dead now, and this is the great grandchildren of all the people that he left. So how do they have any concept of who this guy is? I mean, as far as they're known, it's like, an absent god. Like, he left. Who knows if he's coming back? He said he's going to come back one day, but he hasn't come back yet. So, like I would imagine that at a certain period of time, after a few generations, they would just stop expecting him to come back and go on and just kind of go on with their life. And, if he's supposed to be the ruler, I would imagine that they would have found a new ruler and said, well, this guy is probably never coming back. How do we know he's going to come back? I don't know. And they would have done some, I don't know. That just seems a little weird if they're not all living with these unusually long lifespans. Like, all of a sudden now, 300 years is just too long because, nobody that would have been alive to remember him is still alive. And as stories evolve over time, but he's going to be nothing but King Arthur to us.
Yeah, and that's actually something that the arc as a whole is meant to address. I mean, I agree with you that it's weird and people should be reacting to it. Hopefully, I'm writing my way out of that, which is the point of
I don't know.
writing
It's just,
exercise.
and of
it's
course,
definitely a weird setup.
it could be an interesting story when this person does come back. I mean, actually, King Arthur's probably a good example. It would be like if King Arthur's left and said he's going to come back and he never came back. Now, us in 2021, yeah, we could care less. But if King Arthur all of a sudden came back and said, "Hey, I'm back," like I said I was, that would make for an interesting story. But
like Jesus,
my brief to myself,
yeah,
over
kind of
this
like
was
Jesus if he shows up too.
what if George Washington came back and saw America while Trump was running his insurgency type scenario? And I was like, actually, that's a pretty interesting idea for a story.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, you're definitely on point with how that's weird.
Yeah. So that was my thoughts.
Yeah. All right. For my constructive notes, I've read a fair amount of John's scripts over the years, and I feel like you and John kind of write in similar genres. So you might like swapping the scripts for notes and stuff.
I'm game.
Like you certainly are very action heavy, and they kind of feel like campy. They have a bit of a campy feel to them. Like in terms of like the emotional weight, I'm not worried that anyone here is going to die. I'm not worried that I'm going to turn the page and I'm going to be shocked or horrified or that anything's going to be too heavy. I'm supremely confident that they're going to get out of this tangle with the pirates. It may involve some captain on captain lovemaking. I don't know, but I'm sure that they're going to navigate their way through this problem. And then the question is, well, what are they going to get onto as soon as they defeat the pirates? Well, and we're going back to the problem that I see is presented by the issue is that these challenges, and of course, this is issue 2, so it's a little hard, but these challenges are all kind of presented in dialogue that we're not seeing like, oh, there's the person, and then there's the other thing, and then there's that other thing, which all seem like kind of setups for, new original series Star Trek episodes where, now we're going to go here and we're going to do some swashbuckly stuff. So you set up the stakes of the universe as being, to me, like the same as like serial television, where I know these are our main characters. I don't have to worry that any of them are really going to die. And we're just kind of here for the campy fun. And that's cool. And then that's a cool genre. I would encourage you to maybe try and make the conflicts a little more personal or emotional. I'm not sure who. I mean, I'm going to guess that Thorne is probably the main character because he's the one in charge, but I'm not exactly sure. And I'm not sure who I really should care about or be looking to. And no one has been traumatized or I haven't seen anyone like victimized in such a way that I'm going to go, oh my goodness, that person, I should care about what happens to them. I hope they get vengeance or something, so I feel like the emotional stakes of the story are a little low.
Okay.
Also, I feel like the dialogue for actors, like you can kind of go, oh, hey, here, emphasize these words and whatnot, but this is going to go to a letterer. I wouldn't be bolding the words. I mean, I think, when people read it in their mind, it's going to be fine. I don't think you need to bold the words.
Cool. If I can piggyback off of what you were saying about the dialogue, it almost feels like the story is being told through the dialogue and not through the action of the characters.
Sorry, I'm writing this down, but yeah.
That's okay. But like when they're talking about, oh, we have to go back home to your home planet, and oh, when this thing happens, or oh, we're going to go do this thing, it feels like the story is being told through the dialogue and not through the action, not through the panels, not through the visuals, but simply through the dialogue. Like, if you were to take all of these characters and put them in an empty room and have them reseat all the dialogue, the exact same story would take place.
That's an interesting thought experiment. Yeah, no, that's a good note, actually. Got lots of work to do.
All right, Mulby, did you catch any of the story?
Oh, well, sadly, man, I just got off work. My apologies,
William,
man.
did you catch any of the story?
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, no. Sorry.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fair
Errands.
enough. Larry, do you have any constructives?
I I got a little confused at I don't know. Like, I know it's the second issue, so we probably had a little bit more description of like the type of vessel they were riding in and stuff like that. Like the mech thing kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't really know that they were in a mech. I thought they were just in like a spaceship. So I don't know.
They're in like the SDF-1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat though. Like, you don't see that super often anymore. So
Yeah.
but it just came. It was a little confusing. So I don't know. Maybe explore a little bit more of the ship, because the ship can be its own character too, especially if it's got anthropomorphic qualities and whatnot. That's
It's
always
like
a good.
soccer kicking fools.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's always a good thing to explore on, like, you mentioned Star Trek a little earlier, and the Enterprise was as much of a character as the rest of the characters, right? So, yeah. At least in my mind.
All right. There we go. I think those are our notes for those 10 pages.
Cool.
Thanks
I'm
for-
in. You haven't
thanks.
scared me off yet.
Oh, awesome. Thanks
That's
for
cool.
coming and presenting. Yeah.
Yeah, we hope you can stick around and come back and bring more pages next week.
Yeah. All right. So
Will
next
do.
up, we go. Yes, Mulvey?
We need more and more members on the writing stream set, man.
do.
That's right.
You could get penciled in, man. It's our way to jump you into the stream.
So next up, we have Adventures at the Hentai Hospital.
All right.
All right, John. Do we need setup for this?
Yeah, I can. Let me go find my preview that I wrote.
Okay.
Let's see. Previously on the Demonatrix, the angel Tatiana, charged with watching Emmy in anticipation of Lolita's return, instead enacts vengeance against the janitor for abusing patients at the state mental hospital. Having exhausted her time to be material, Lolita seized the opportunity of Tatiana being distracted and broke Emmy out of the mental hospital so she can rest far enough away that the angels cannot track her. And this is a rewrite of pages that I presented back some time ago. So hopefully it will play better.
What is this? All right. I don't understand. There you go. I don't know who this offer to help is to, but G.A. Longo, whose book I reviewed today on my channel, it's quite good, is offering to help with someone, although he will probably be perceived as a dick. There you go.
Okay.
Who's narrating, John?
Well, we're going to have Larry narrate, of course.
All right, Larry.
Of course. Yes.
All right, and we got lots of people today, so I might try to sit this one out.
Okay.
Let's see. Preston, I'll have you do Emmy like usual.
Awesome.
Let's see. Danny, you can do Lolita.
Okay.
When she pops
I'm not
up.
doing a voice. Maybe I'll do a voice. I'll contemplate a voice.
She's a snarky demon.
She is a demon. So.
Yeah, and she actually doesn't have a whole lot of lines, but that's okay.
There you go.
And then let's see, Mulby, you can do Jacobs, and Savage. What's your name? What do you go by?
Just Savage or William.
Okay. You can start off being the administrator, and then we'll go from there.
From now on, John, I need you to refer to me as the triple writing OG, man.
All right, Larry, go for it.
Okay, let's go. Interior mental hospital hallway, daytime. Jacob stands outside the janitor closet wearing blue latex gloves. He watches the video on his phone. A panicked hospital administrator stands beside him. Behind them, the coroner rolls the janitor's body out on the stretcher.
Well, I'm Jacob, right?
Yeah.
All right. This guy's been on your payroll for 18 months, and you had no idea.
No, sir. He passed all the background checks. We interviewed his pastor.
Pastor.
Yes, sir. He was a deacon at the Serenity Valley Grace Church. They had nothing but good things to say about him.
Right. Needless to say, I'll need a copy of his personal file, and I want you to come down to make a statement.
Yes, sir. I'll get that for you.
Man, you got Larry.
The administrator heads down the hall as Patel walks slowly towards Jacobs. Jacobs turns off the phone.
William, you can do Patel as well.
Alvarez. You bet.
Larry?
Sergeant Alvarez approaches as the opens an evidence bag. Jacobs drops the phone inside, seals the bag, hands it off to him. Patel shoves her emotions down.
I'm good, sir. Sorry about earlier.
No need to apologize.
How much physical strength would it require to run a stick through someone's body like that?
More than crushing a man's skull with your bare hands.
You really think?
Mr. What is that?
Janitor
Janitor sickle?
Yeah.
Is he with a popsicle, something?
Janitor sickle.
Janitor.
Got it.
Hold on. All right. Real quick, I gotta be Preston the Science Guy. I think impaling someone with a broom handle requires less force than crushing their skull.
It's
All the way up through their...
Sounds more like a
It's a
janitor
6-foot
lollipop
pole,
than a janitor popsicle.
and you only see about 2 or 3 inches of it when she's done.
Okay.
You're referring to the impalement as a form of execution, like Vlad the
Right.
Impaler.
Right. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I
Vlad the Impaler chopped people's heads off and put the heads on pikes.
No, the impaling
did?
Impaling was a method of execution in and of itself.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is
It
why
was considered a horrible way to die.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think that running a pole all the way through somebody would be...
I guess it depends on how sharp, right? But
it's a wooden mop handle.
If it's like a sword, then
Yeah.
all right. But she didn't like break it off. There's not like a
She broke it. She broke it off, and then...
I mean, it could be kind of sharp.
It's definitely not like body on a pike and avoid all the vital organs sharp.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's more like a blunt instrument.
Well,
Okay.
Hey, all right, fair.
all I'm saying is
I stand correct.
That's just what my thought would be, but I mean,
Okay.
It's more of a janitor cake pop then.
all I'm saying is I'm feeling a lot less straight comfort hearing about wood being shoved up a man's
you're causing some flinching amongst the heterosexual men present.
Right.
This is why this stream is no longer shared with the Vatican.
There we go. All right, where were we?
Mr. Janitor's Circle.
Yes.
Mr. I think you need one of them. What's that?
A hyphen?
Yeah.
Hyphen.
Okay.
You need one of them hyphens.
Mr. Jannersicle was a deacon at Serenity Valley Grace Church. Guess who was their senior pastor?
You're not serious.
Two Vics, both middle-aged males, devout Christians killed by means of someone with inhumane strength, likely known by and killed within 100 feet of Emerald May rally. And after this one's death, she somehow broke out via a 3rd-story window. You know what I mean? I like how we were talking about the church and it transitions to us reading about the church.
There you go. That's good writing right there. Okay.
All right. Interior Serenity Valley Cathedral Sanctuary Day. Quiet, liturgical music, that's a new word for me, plays over the sound system. An old lady sits by herself praying. Sister Joanne, 60s, arranges prayer books on the pews. Emmy enters, takes a seat near the back. Sister Joanne notices, continues arranging the prayer books in a direction towards Emmy. As she nears Emmy, she sits in the pew in front of her.
Danny, why don't you do Sister Joanne?
Sure. You look troubled, my child. What's the matter?
Am I Emmy?
Yes.
You're Emmy.
I messed up and I don't know what to do about it.
Asking for forgiveness is always a good place to start. I should have done an Irish accent.
There you go.
I'm
There
gonna go
is-
with an Irish accent now.
There is no forgiveness for me.
Sister Joanne smiles, looking towards the crucifix hanging in front of the cathedral.
There is no sin that cannot be forgiven.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Emmy's stomach growls.
Well, how about we take of that hunger of yours and we'll talk later, and we can talk later. Come on.
Interior Serenity Valley Cathedral kitchen. Emmy chows down on a bologna and cheese sandwich. Sister Joanne takes some leftover chicken noodle soup from the microwave and places it next to her.
The bowl's gonna be hot.
Thank you.
I don't get that line about the bowl at all.
Bowls coming out of microwaves are always hot.
Right.
Yes.
Which, by the way, if you're ever at a restaurant and they bring you something and they say, "Careful, the plate's hot," that means it came from the microwave.
Damn right.
Just FYI.
Unless it's a cast iron plate, because
Yeah.
sometimes they will
Sure.
actually bake or cook the meal in the plate
Right.
that they serve it to you on.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the vast majority of the time they're bringing it to you on a plate, and the only way that plate got hot is if that plate was in the microwave.
And
True.
now that we've had some restaurant talk, no. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Emmy dabs her
No.
sandwich in the soup, continuing to eat. Sister Joanne sits across the table.
When was the last time you ate?
Emmy shakes her head, mumbles some words through a full mouth. Yes.
Do you have a place to sleep tonight?
Emmy hesitates, nods.
Tell you what, we run a soup kitchen over on Hope and Grand. 8 p.m. That's a weird way to do 8 p.m.
That's how you
each-
do it in screenplay dialogue.
8 p.m. each night.
Oh,
You
wait,
come-
wait. No, it's not actually. That 8 should be spelled out.
Uh-oh.
You are correct. It should be spelled out.
Yeah.
You come by around 6, help us set up and tear down. There'll be plenty of food, and we might even be able to help you stay somewhere tonight. Sound like a plan?
Emmy swallows the food and smiles.
Can I stay here until then?
God's house is always open to those in need.
Sister Joanne is so damn nice.
She is.
She's
Yes.
amazingly nice.
When did she get impaled by something?
I know. Something bad's gonna happen.
Or is this just a weird old nun sex thing that's happening
I
later in
mean,
this bit that I've already overlooked?
Yes. Interior Serenity Valley Cathedral Sanctuary later. Emmy sleeps on one of the pews. Sister Esther, 20s, young and bright-eyed, nudges her awake.
William, you want to do Sister Esther?
Esther.
Sure. Emmy,
Emmy
Later.
sits up.
Sister Joanne said I might find you here.
I guess I dozed off.
Sister Esther sits down next to her.
Quite all right. Happens to me all the time.
You look too pretty. You look too pretty young to be a nun. All right.
That should just be you look pretty young to be a nun.
Okay.
I found my calling earlier. I guess, we're always open to new converts.
You guys don't want me.
Emmy pauses.
Well, just trust me on that.
Everyone is called to serve, though not everyone serves in the same way. Right now it's time to serve dinner.
Oh, a little Catholic humor.
Wah, wah.
Time to serve that dry bread.
There we go.
Exterior alley at Hope and Grand. Night. Dozens of homeless people line up where Sister Joanne and Sister Esther and Emmy are serving soup and sandwiches. Mackerel rolls a
Wait, hold on. William has a question from the chat. Is he the only black man who hasn't been to prison that's currently assembled? Moldy? Okay, very well.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
That-
I don't appreciate how I became the expert
I
on
didn't
that
mean to put you
question.
on the spot like that. Okay.
Oh man!
All right.
All right. As I say, Marco rolls a hand truck over with some tubs on it.
Thank you, Marco.
Marco nods. He looks over at Emmy and smiles. Emmy notices and smiles back. Oh yeah. Across the street, two men sit in a cargo van watching. One through binoculars. He takes out his cell phone.
Hey, Mulby, you want to be my gangster?
Not racist.
Or is that too
Word.
racist?
Not
Oh,
racist.
hey, I'll do it.
Should I have one of our
I'll,
white guys be the gangster?
Outlaw Authenticizer, you know what I'm saying?
Our man of the man of non
Yeah.
specified ethnicity.
Yeah.
Would you like to be our man of unspecified ethnicity, Moby?
You can do
Yeah, I'll be. It's just the man guy, right?
He's
Yeah.
just
Man,
the man.
it.
Yep.
It says
Man,
man
yeah.
at the top.
Right. I'll read it. That guy's very. He's got to let people know he's a man.
Exactly.
There
Yep.
you go.
He's going to make it very well known in a few pages down below. He's a
Oh
man.
boy. All right. Here we go.
All right.
All right, Mulvey.
Tell Carlos. Well, we'll have half a dozen more, and I think we have that custom order as well.
Alley. Marco pulls a garbage bag out of the can, ties it off, heads back to the church van. He tosses the bag inside of the van. As Marco turns, the man from across the street strikes him with the butt of an aluminum baseball bat.
Ow.
Ouch.
Alley. Several thugs enter the alley. One armed with a pistol stands by the entrance. The others wield batons and baseball bats.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for some head hunting.
Larry?
Oh, sorry. They use the bats and batons to corral some of the homeless together. Emmy steps out from behind the table.
Hey, back off.
Looky what we got it. I thuganize more of that, you know what I mean?
Lolita, I could use some help.
The men surround her, poking her with their bats.
Firm body, youthful looks. I might be going to jail for reading this.
Lolita?
That's me, right?
That is
I think you were Lolita, Danny.
Cynical, hates everything.
Yes.
Sex demon.
Yeah.
5 more minutes.
Crack. One of the men smacks Emmy in the head with a baton, knocking her unconscious.
Will, I'll have you do Carlos, and I'll do Man 2.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Man
Ooh.
1 is Mulvey.
Dude, I think you killed her.
Carlos is going to kill you.
Oh, as well.
Back
William.
off. Back off.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, by the way, a note I forgot to give on the last script, Danny. You had one where there was just a spaceship in the panel, but you had 2 characters speaking. That can be tough for the letterer to indicate who's talking if you have multiple people talking and neither of them are on the panel.
It's
Definitely.
different word bubbles. That's how you usually do
Yeah.
it. But yeah.
Or then they have to start like coloring the word bubbles.
Yeah,
They have to do that
exactly.
consistently through the issue.
Okay. Interior warehouse. Cage. Night. Emmy regains consciousness, finding herself lying on a concrete floor. Carlos and the 2 other men stand over her.
Welcome back, senorita.
Startled, Emmy crawls backwards, hitting the metal cage. Looking around, she sees several of the homeless are in the cage with her, as well as the 3 men.
Looks like you get to live to see another day, muchachos.
What do you want?
I'm Carlos. I run a logistics company, and we're experiencing tremendous growth in this economy and looking to expand our employment ranks.
Emmy arches a brow.
Logistics?
Import, export, transportation. Some of you will work transportation. Some of you will be exports.
Carlos waves to the other two men.
When you're done, take this one down to the boat with the others, and be sure not to damage the merchandise.
Carlos exits. The two men remaining corral the homeless out of the cage, leaving Emmy alone.
Okay, Lolita, time to wake the fuck up.
Lolita yawns.
Someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Somebody has been forcefully kidnapped.
Looks like your rape fantasies will be coming true.
I don't have rape fantasies. I prefer not to be raped or molested or anything.
One of the men returns, enters the cage, and locks himself in with Emmy.
Hey, little girl.
Emmy backs up, hitting the bars.
You don't mind if I sample the merchandise. You dig?
The man unzips his pants, takes out his penis, stroking it.
And if I do mind?
Tough shit.
Yeah,
this is getting dark.
He's got a nice cock.
John's stories get rather dark lately.
Yeah.
Your boss said not to damage the merchandise.
Oh, don't struggle. You won't get damaged.
Lolita.
I got this.
Lolita, in a nude human form, steps out of Emmy and stands between her and the man.
Hi, I'm Lolita.
The man stands shocked at Lolita's sudden appearance.
That's a nice cock. Mind if I take it for a spin?
Lolita steps forward, grabbing a soft cock, stroking it.
What's the matter? Can't get hard if it's consensual?
The man steps backwards.
Very explicit. Very explicit on this one.
The man steps backwards. Lolita tackles the man, sending both of them crashing to the floor. She reaches down between her legs, grabbing his dick, strokes it for a few times before shoving it deep inside her pussy.
So now
there we go. Sorry, I was just thinking, oh my god, what have I got myself into? But no, I did. All right, let's go.
There we go.
The name of the Father.
There we go. I tried to give you fair warning about John's.
And you won't get damaged.
We have all sinned.
Yes.
I just like how John doesn't read none of the negative parts.
I like how we assigned all the parts to everybody else.
All right. Lolita.
There we go.
No, I think
I did that, and I did don't struggle. And you won't get damaged.
There we go.
Lolita transforms into her demon form. The man's eyes go wide in fear. He screams.
Are you consenting now, bitch?
Lolita rides him hard.
Come for me, baby.
Lolita rides him harder. The man
I'm going from a thug to Steve Urkel.
That's right, yeah. The man tries to struggle, but he can't budge under her supernatural strength. He cries out. His body convulses, unable to control his orgasm. Lolita laughs. Ha.
If you even think about touching her again, I'm keeping your dick as a trophy. Now get out.
Well, the guy lives? He should be totally dead. All right, fine. All right.
Lolita gets off of him. The man bolts out the door, struggles with the keys, finally gets it unlocked, exits, locks the door, and runs away. Lolita returns to
That's the worst fucking rescue ever.
Also, how long does that exit take?
Yeah, exactly. Lolita returns to her human form, turning back to Emmy.
That was fun. Now, how about we get you out of here?
Maybe you stop the guy from locking you in. I don't know. What? Oh, wait.
Wait, I thought you didn't have rape fantasies.
I'm not.
That needs a question mark at the end really badly.
Yeah.
I'm not the only person they took. We can help them.
We can also get ourselves killed.
This is why John is not allowed in the church.
Yeah. You don't have to help me, but I'm not leaving without them.
Lolita groans.
Fine.
Okay. Well, all right.
Uh,
So that escalated quickly.
Let's see. Darth Daddy Longa has a note for it.
Man,
there you go.
Okay. So point. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That is the genre that John is writing for.
I think well, you gotta put that message I wrote, man. I got a
Exactly.
very special message for John, man.
Yeah.
On the comments section.
All right. I mean, well, it's emotionally engaging. Yeah, it's emotionally engaging. There we go. Larry.
Oh yeah, it's definitely very interesting, and it's got some good pacing, as usual. I think the pacing has gotten a lot better since you started the script over time. You want constructives too? Or?
I tend to come back on those.
Okay, sure. Dialogue's really good. The back and forth between Emmy and Lolita is always fun. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got there. So.
Thank you so much. I thank you. Yay!
Organic Android,
Yeah.
you have done right, my son.
Yes, thank you so much.
What did you think of that, Molby?
All I gotta say is, man, this is why we need holy water to clean your ears. You know.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
I feel like the script had its way with me.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of it's like yeah, it's like it's just kind of interesting how it goes from casual to like
hardcore
right there and there.
He nearly raped the man to death.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of eerily kind of like hentai and stuff because hentai does the same thing where it just goes from one to another so quickly. It's kind of almost amusing, basically.
Well, to me, from reading it before, the previous script, to me, I like how this time around, the tone between her different side and her normal side is further established. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like her demonic side has more aggression, whereas last time it was more of she did this and did that. Now we got a clear voice for her, demonic side. And to me, the quick escalation, to me, that's how it should be done. It shouldn't be slow. I mean, if someone's going to rape you, it ain't going to be, in 15 minutes.
That's right.
It's going to be right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Damn, man, there's a lot of these clips, man. If shown to my parents, a lot of words on this stream.
There's always a time.
I gotta back it up with.
Well,
it's one of those things that if somebody really, really, really hates you, we've got enough in these writer streams of you saying all kinds of things. They could cut them and rearrange them.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna like deep fake Preston later on. And
I just want to say that I was part of the church choir before I joined the writer's stream.
Does this make it better or worse?
It's made my life a lot worse.
I'm a pastor's kid, so
hey, sir. You don't put your abuse on us, man.
So I'm not familiar with older versions of this or where we are in the story. I'm okay with the really quick transition to the violence and stuff, because I'm assuming this is some weird porny version of like Death Wish. So that feels enough like a canon film that I'm comfortable with that.
There you go.
I think there could be more distinction between this is a hassle and I don't care to help you on Lolita's part.
Yeah.
Like whatever that relationship is like if they're inhabiting the same body, presumably Lolita would care if the body was destroyed. Lolita might not want to wake up, but once she knows what's going on, and like you ramp that up reasonably quickly, but like it's a little bit slow to sort of start as compared to the I could use your help to no, I need your help right now.
This is the middle of technically issue 2, so a lot of that was established already. Their relationship and why Lolita needs Emmy was pretty much established in the first part of issue 2. That would have been in last
and the way
week's
it was
stream.
established was that yes, she in fact will perish and suffer an eternal death
Of
if
nothingness.
if Emmy is not kept alive
Yes.
or something like that. So
Yeah, something like that.
yeah,
But there you go.
yeah.
That's a solid motivation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
She needs her to be alive, but she
I
doesn't
need to get out of bed. No, I'd like to snooze, and then okay, no, I need to work now. Like that seem to have the same tone of voice, and maybe there's like a verbal tick you can use to sort of signify that Lolita's more awake when she's in voiceover.
So when she's in voiceover, it's basically her body, her material body does not exist. So when she's in voiceover, only Emmy can hear her. She's basically speaking in Emmy's mind because she is possessing her.
Okay,
When
we've already
she's-
established that as just a straight up two-way radio.
Yes.
Okay.
When she steps out of Emmy, when she materializes her physical form, then she can be seen and interact with other people.
Yeah.
She is her own separate entity. She is a demon.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming this is being competently set up previously.
Yeah. I hope so.
So I haven't read it, but I'm gonna.
That's okay.
I'm gonna take your word for it, and then yeah. So then it kind of works, if that's the case.
Yes,
But certainly, like, has
My
she
questions.
shown up? Oh, sorry.
No.
So since we're at constructive, I mean, why doesn't Lolita take a more active role in saving Emmy?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, she could use
because
that
then the
man's dick as a
episode would be
dildo.
over already, and I have 8 more pages.
Oh, see, I knew there was a plot point there.
So for the purpose of continuing the story to keep going, you kind of like get like you erase the obvious solution to a problem, basically.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the obvious solution to the problem is Lolita deals with the guy and takes Emmy out of the cage.
Allow the evil to control you, John.
So
I mean, it's also possible the guy locked the door behind him and Lolita can't get her way out.
Yeah.
But then we spent like 5 minutes watching him struggle to unlock the door.
Right, exactly.
So I'm not sure if that part really lands.
Okay.
Well, it does not feel at all in character for the demon Lolita, particularly given her dependency on Emmy being alive, to just casually allow the guy to leave.
Maybe her IQ is sub 90.
Then she shouldn't be alive now. Right? If she's a demoness who's been around for a long period of time, who's really stupid, then she should be dead.
Well, I
Or
was gonna
John,
say,
it occurs to me that if you just like have her take more of a Rorschach approach, and like when she steps out, the demon locks the door, then the man's locked in with her and kill him. And the man was expecting to leave and to overpower this weak woman, and then is stuck and then dies. You can still kill the guy or whatever
basically.
without having to waste time with that action scene, but also to have her be violent if that's where you want to go.
I just want to say it's written that way because you got to write it in the dark.
There you go.
Write it in the dark, John.
All right.
Allow the darkness to consume you, John.
Larry, I think you had some constructives.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the ending where the guy opens the door and then locks it again seemed just a little bit slapsticky. If he's gonna run away, just have him unlock the door and leave it open. I think that would be the best thing to do. But yeah, it's still slapsticky, but it's not kind of like over the top slapsticky, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
William.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments on the pages we just read?
Not too much because most of you guys already covered what I was gonna say and stuff. But I'll just say is it's definitely an interesting story. I'd like to see more of where it's going and stuff. Because I'm
tune in next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
What is that?
Right from the evil.
I said tune in next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
All right.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. Moby, you got anything?
Oh yeah. Well, to me, man, after hearing what Danny said, makes sense where he said it should have been forget the word where damn, I forget how the word goes, but where she appeared, to trick him, and then the aggression came. And I think I agree with most people that he shouldn't have lived. It should have been maybe his body just came out of the cage, the corpse, just dried out, kind of like, since she's a demon, she doesn't just drain
and that's
sperm,
like the other thing is that I want to feel like you're kind of plugging into the lore of what a succubus is. And if a man has sex with a succubus, he should not be just strolling away.
No. Usually they drain the life force.
Yeah, they're like vampires in that way. Like they drain, there should be some deleterious effect.
Vagina fangs.
Through the lower appendage instead of through the neck.
Right, yeah. So,
vagina fangs detected.
That's right, yeah.
Preston's mention of vampires, it just sort of got me thinking. One way where the scene works, if you keep the door open, is have, what's her name, Emily or whatever, try to actually escape and have the man prevent her. And then all of a sudden you've got action sort of going along with the increasing the tension. Can she leave? Yes, no. Yes, no. Okay, Lolita, where are you?
Yes, Danny, my son.
Right, and then you've got that small sort of structure within that scene that sort of builds up to the violence much more naturally.
Speak from the darkness.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So you can work that either way if you want to let the guy die or escape.
Point.
All right, we have Primal Chaos.
Is this also a porn comic?
No, it's not.
Hey,
Yay!
sir. We don't call it porn, we call it art.
So this will be the last few pages. So it's not going to make any sense to the new people if they haven't heard before.
Well, why don't you go ahead and set up the story for them?
Right. So this is the second issue. Samuel, a fallen angel, has been imbued with the power of chaos, which is a separate energy force from outside of the universe, and he has been sent to Earth. In the first comic, he landed, killed some people, regained his angel soul, and sort of became a hybrid of the two things. Then he fought a demon who was trying to kill a kid in the sewer, and that's kind of where the first issue left off. There was also some secretive council stuff going on with these people called the Titans that live on Earth and also have the power of chaos.
Secret society stuff.
Secret society stuff, exactly. So when we pick up in the second issue, they wake up in the sewer and get out and make their way into a abandoned building. Meanwhile, the secret council has sent a few of their members off to hunt Samuel, and right before this page, the angel Gabriel possessed a human body to come down to Earth to also hunt for Samuel. So he is getting targeted from many different directions. So this was a page insert that I put in that was going to go at the end of the script, but I put it here so that I could have the internal dialogue where he remembers all the stuff that we read last week be on 2 pages together. So I inserted this part here. So that's where we're starting.
All right.
Yes. All right. So I guess I'll narrate. And,
okay.
I'll narrate if you want to listen.
There you go.
Yeah.
We've got bodies.
Yeah.
Okay. You can narrate, and then I'll just assign the roles as we go because there's not a lot of speaking parts right now. So.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Page 22, open bracket, 19, close bracket. Hell's the Seventh Ascension, Hall of the Lord Eternal, whatever that's supposed to mean. Panel 1, wide shot. Mammon walks down a long stone hall with tall walls and an angular cut arch ceiling towards a large black door. From the cracks in the obsidian-like stone, a pale red light glows out, casting strange shadows across the floor. Panel 2, wide shot. Inside the room on the other side of the black door, Mammon stands in a circular chamber with 7 thrones lining the radius in a semicircle on the far side. A red beam of light shines down from above, illuminating the center of the circle where he stands, his back to the viewer. Okay, that was awkward. In the throne directing Directing in front of
Oh,
him
you're supposed to directly in front. Sorry.
sits a figure cloaked in shadow with red glowing eyes. The rest of the seats are empty.
Mammon. We'll say Preston. So.
My Lord Belphegor has been voided from creation.
Panel 3. The figure leans forward into the light. It is Satan. Okay. Yay, boo.
Yay!
Boo, Satan.
Hey,
Yay, Satan. His face expresses a look of confusion and anger as he replies.
Moby, you can be Satan.
explain how that which cannot be annihilated by design has been destroyed.
Panel 4. Close up on Mammon's face as he nervously explains Belphegor's death.
My lord, he had taken physical form on Earth through the crack astral barrier we discovered not long ago. He encountered something new, however. He fought with what appeared to be an angel, one of Lucifer's fallen by his condition, but this creature also possessed the energy of chaos.
Panel 5. Close up. Lucifer leans toward Mammon in the foreground.
Sorry.
A streak of rage washes over his face as he barks orders.
Is
Mammon
Lucifer not
winces.
Satan?
No, he's not. They're two different characters. I screwed up there.
Okay. Into a cowering bow.
Summon the others at once. We have much planned.
Yes, my lord.
Page 23, 24, 20, and 21. 2-page spread. Panel 1, center. This panel should be large at the center with all the other panels stretching out the sides and bottom. Back at the old hardware store. Wide shot. Samael sits cross-legged on the counter facing the reader. His eyes are closed. His remaining right hand pressed against his chest. He thinks to himself.
John, you can read Samuel.
I remember it all now.
Panel 2, left top, wide shot. A large army of thousands of angels in battered and tarnished armor stands on a silver and gold field of flowers before a massive luminous gate. Before them in front of the gate stand an army of millions of angels in glowing gold armor.
Your penciler is not going to enjoy penciling millions of angels.
Nope.
How big is this panel?
Tell him.
How many angels you want me to draw? 1 million.
Millions.
Like they're just standing there, waiting around.
Do the old copy and paste. You draw a good 7 different ones and just
Exactly.
The war.
Panel 3, right top. An imposing and handsome angel in golden armor is facing towards the reader, the tarnished angel army behind him, his blade raised upwards, and he screams as he spreads his massive wings wide.
My brothers.
Panel 4, middle left. Samael is facing the viewer. He appears to be falling downward towards the field of flowers from panel 2. He's wearing gold armor. His wings are intact. The sword he is holding in his left hand has exploded into thousands of pieces. He is screaming in pain as the shattered tip of the blade flies back and chops his left arm off near the elbow. Shards of the blade pierce the rest of his arm and part of his chest armor. Glowing red angelic blood sprays out of his wounds.
My defeat.
Panel 5, middle right. View behind angelic Gabriel looking down towards Samael, who is kneeling on the edge of a cliff. The cliff is nothing but blackness. Gabriel has gripped both of Samael's wings tightly near his back with his hands and placed his knee on his mid area in pushing position. Samael hangs his head in shame.
My exile.
Panel 6, bottom left. View looking down on Samael and surrounding Fallen. The angels have ripped the wings off them as they push them over the cliff. They start to fall into the abyss. A wave of glowing red blood gushes from their wounds. Behind them is nothing but black.
The fall.
Panel 7, bottom right. Wide shot from behind Samael after he's fallen into Chaos's realm and had his armor melted, looking down. Below him, Chaos, a luminous stream of energy, moving between two massive singularities, with a coil in the center of the stream that looks almost mechanical. Erratic moving parts move along the surface of the coil with no pattern or function.
Chaos.
Panel 8, bottom middle. This panel will be slightly larger than the other surrounding panels. Close up on a girl's face. She is looking towards...
We have quite a note. This is the amazing power of porn. That demon story with janitor escaping was so funny, I had to open a YouTube account.
The janitor didn't escape.
Don't ruin it, all right? You got a fan.
All right, I like this. I've now been taught about the power of porn.
There you go.
The power of porn commands.
Right?
Yeah.
The girl is looking towards the viewer, smiling. She has Middle Eastern facial features. There's blood splattered on her face and tears welling in her eyes. Fire can be seen burning behind her.
The one that freed my soul.
Page 2522, panel wide. Close up on Samael's face as his eyes spring open. The sound of a helicopter can be heard very close outside the building. Chuff, 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 chuff. Panel 2. Inside the helicopter, looking down at the building from above the back parking lot. Jen Fairgate sits in front of the open side hatch of the chopper, her hand pressed against her earpiece.
William, you can do Jen.
Target acquired. Understood. Weapons free.
All right, hold on. You haven't indicated that the helicopter has weapons. If they're about to start shooting, you should at least show the weapons on the copter. So you need to tell, is this like Vietnam style where there's like an M60 machine gun hanging off a rack in like a big open room with a guy standing
look at
ready?
panel 3.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I feel like it should be in panel 2. But all right.
Do the big description on first mention.
Yeah.
That solves a lot of problems later.
Yeah.
Panel 3, Jen aims a massive 4-foot rifle. That's like a normal sized rifle, isn't it?
That is a normal size rifle.
Yeah. A massive normal sized rifle with a forked edge where the barrel should be towards the building. There's a click and an energy charging sound. Clink. Wah!
There you go.
Panel 3, inset. Close up on the forked barrel as it glows hot and electric arcs shoot out in all directions. Whirr.
There we go.
Panel 4. Wide shot showing the helicopter and the building from the side, and as an intense beam of plasma shoots out towards the building. Presumably shoots out from the not rifle?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Panel 5, same view as the last panel. The building explodes into a giant fireball. Kaboom! Page 2223. Sorry, 2623. I don't understand what those things are in brackets.
I don't either, and I've been reading a script since the beginning.
Yeah. And
he just insists on doing it that way.
why?
I don't know. Because it's Larry's script, and that's how you know it's Larry's script. He gives
Also, Larry, add page breaks between the art pages.
Yeah.
It makes life easier on the Illustrator for free.
Yeah.
Panel 1. Wide shot closer on the explosion. A ball of fire leaps out, heading towards the helicopter. So the helicopter is moving over the building?
Yes.
Okay, that wasn't in the art direction.
Yeah.
Page 2, close up. The flames dissipate from the ball, and we see it Samael leaping towards the helicopter. That's cool. His blade arm has reformed, and he has it drawn back, ready to thrust forward. His left eye is blazing purple energy, and his right blue energy. Panel 3, wide shot. Samael slices the tail section off the body of the helicopter in one strike.
Oh, they're going down.
Mm-hmm.
Panel 4, wide shot, upward angle. Samael lands in the foreground facing the viewer. In the background, the helicopter explodes as it hits the building on the other side of the parking lot. Kafroom!
And Samael just murderized a bunch of people.
He did.
So much for being the hero.
It's the money. That's the money shot panel with
Why is it wide?
Well, it's wide angle, technically.
I mean, Worm's eye shot with he was like landing right beside the viewer, and then you've got this background action.
Still wide though.
Stop judging my son.
I guess.
No.
I'm not judging. I was confused.
It's not a comic book if there isn't like a big panel with like action in the background and stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm behind that, Hundo P.
Yeah.
Page 2724, panel 1. Close-up 3/4 view of Samael's head and shoulders. Samael whips his head over his shoulder, facing the viewer as he hears a voice call out from behind him.
Yep, slap his hand for passive voice. Bad Larry. Bad Larry.
You're pretty good up to this point.
I'm just trying to figure out how the artist is going to draw. He hears a voice.
Yeah. Larry's kind of bad about that. Like he hears he's still doing a lot of the screenplay stuff. He hears a helicopter outside. Like you can't draw that. But who's Jen Fairgate?
That's me.
Okay.
Now you've gone and done it.
Wasn't she in the helicopter that just exploded?
Yep.
All right.
Wide shot showing a full body shot of Jen in front of the flaming wreckage of the helicopter. She is now twice her height. Her muscle mass is increased, making her bulkier. Her eyes blazing bright purple and her skin appears more pale. Her catsuit is ripped across the seams, revealing more of her body.
Yes.
Okay,
but
so
it's
she's
still
walking
made
out.
of the magic fabric that the Hulk
right.
uses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Two curved metallic blades now extend from both of her arms. She lost her arms.
No.
When did she lose her arms?
Extending from her arms.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, she's a Mortal Kombat character. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her gaze bears down on Samael with murderous rage.
You've made me angry, and you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
There we go. And the close of the issue.
And then back cover?
Yeah.
There's no interior back cover or like...
That is the interior back cover.
Oh, okay.
Made
Cool.
a stylistic choice. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually just straight up page 28. It's only page 28, not page... Okay. I see.
Page 28's on the left.
Yeah.
So that means page 27 was the interior back cover.
That's right.
You may want to. I don't know if that's. You don't have to specify that.
Yeah, I definitely separate the cover from the guts. That's just.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, you can put it on the inside back cover, but I would say up where you say page 27, I would put page 27 in. Inside of back cover.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have your inside back cover be action and comics and stuff.
I decided to this time. Yeah. Usually I separate it, but
that's a bold, unusual choice.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that if your comic has to be in Preston, didn't you say they have to be in numbers of 4?
Yes, I did.
It is.
So that would mean 28 pages.
28 pages. Yes.
Yeah.
Which would mean that your script is 27, which means you're going to have an extra art page before you even get to the back cover.
Yes.
So technically, you're going to 28 would be a blank /add page, and then your inside back cover doesn't count.
28's the back cover. One is the front cover.
So it's a 24-page book with front cover. The interior front cover is page 1 for no good reason. And then, okay.
And the reason I label them...
It's weird.
The reason I label them is...
We'll use Preston's language. That's bold.
Yeah. The reason I label them like that is so I can keep track of the art pages in sync with each other. So if I have to have a 2-page spread or one that follows another or cliffhangers on one page to the other, that way I can keep track of it. So
I mean, page flip is always on after the odd page.
Yeah.
Or you just do it like a normal person and you don't count the covers, and page 1 starts on page 1. Right. And page 24 ends on page 24.
Yeah, and then you and
then your covers and your inside covers are completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Let's not worry too much over the numbering.
That's mechanic.
Yeah.
You don't got to worry about the numbers and what page is on what page.
Right.
Well, for me, let me just put it that way.
There you go. There you go. If it's working with his production notes, we'll see. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's start with positives. Molby.
All I gotta say, man. Someone texted me and called me that's a Satanist, and they told me this was flawless. Given the devil lines, this was damn near perfect. Not even John gave the devil any lines.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm saving him for a later season.
I am ashamed, John.
It's always cool to see Satan as a speaking character.
It's about time we got some positive Satan. You know what I'm saying?
John. You said you're saving from their season, John?
Yeah, because I have multiple seasons planned, and he's going to be the big bad of one of my seasons.
And who does he have sex with?
Nice.
He is actually Lolita's father.
He's pulling a Raven, a tribe.
I am your father.
Yeah.
And they have sex together.
Of course. Of course.
All right, you're going to need to explain that. Presumably, in the same room as each other, or
Well,
is this like
I'd say-
synchronized demon sex? Like, and now we're back to the porn again. I'm sorry.
Lucifer is the only man that could satisfy Lolita.
There we
Oh,
go.
he had sex with her. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Together was an unclear
Like-
adverb.
Right. He's going for the ultimate taboo.
Saying
I mean, if you've already got a sex demon,
Yeah.
having sex with Satan is like, eh.
But he's her father.
Oh.
You got thinking a demonic. You know what I'm saying? You got to think demonic. You know what I'm saying? What's up is down. You know what I'm saying?
All right, it's definitely that.
You know what I mean?
It's just some Wincest action, exactly. Yeah.
Right, man.
What's
You know what I'm saying? We want Satan
Incest,
now.
but with a W.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We want
But I gotta build up to him. If I dump him in now,
no.
then where do I go from there? But anyway, we're
No.
not talking about my story. We're talking
Exactly.
about
No
The whole
way.
story just goes down after that.
We want.
Thank
You know
you,
what I'm saying?
Preston.
We're
Yes,
starting.
let's talk about Larry's story because it's Larry's
Okay.
time.
Oh, all right, fine.
And we're protesting in front of the churches. We want Satan. We want Satan right now, John.
Yeah.
You're
All
going to
right.
have to wait a couple years because that's going to be like season 5.
Okay, fair enough. All right,
So I actually really liked a lot of the storytelling around the fall, although the mechanics and the layout were really unclear. Starting from the beginning and being like, okay, well, here's how I got here into this weird Hulk Baraka thing, sort of works. And that overall transition as to his place in the world after you've introduced Satan lands in the right way. Right. And so we're showing him at his lowest before he does this reasonably badass thing of cutting a helicopter in half, which I assume isn't particularly difficult for an angel, but still is going to look really cool.
Look dope. You know what I mean?
Right. So that really worked. Yeah, like I was too busy reading to really pay attention with the location of the panels there and what goes where in the spread, but all of those beats did need to be there.
You know what I mean?
Aside from possibly the mysterious woman who saves him, but that might have been introduced earlier, so I don't know.
Issue 1, yeah. So
Okay.
Yeah, I like that you had the minor detail of separating Lucifer and Satan as two separate entities because a lot of people use them interchangeably.
No, they're definitely separate entities in my story. So
yeah, I recognize that you're going with the concept that like each deadly sin has a demon lord associated with it because that includes like Satan and Lucifer.
I'm glad that you caught that. So.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
You can never have enough Satan, man.
Never.
Yeah. But I guess if you make this comic, I know a lot of people are probably going to immediately think of like 7 deadly sins or something like that. Try to compare the two, so I'm curious to see how this goes.
They're not the first to do that. You know what I mean?
It's the most popular thing at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
But Larry's pushing a whole different character up front.
Yeah, my names are more taken from the Christian mythos, so like the actual characters. But
you actually are knowing what you're doing. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to be well researched on it anyway. So,
which is admirable. I think that's great. Yeah, it's nice seeing people try to like well research, the subject matters that they're writing about because some people tend to like to just do like a quick overlook and then go with it.
Yeah.
Right, man. Larry told me.
Sorry.
While writing this, his water turned red, and he said this was a good sign.
I thought water turns black when it comes to demonic shit.
Oh, no.
All right, John.
Is it turning to blood or is it turning to wine? Because that could be two different things.
Could be.
I've always wondered that. Why did the water turn to wine if, it's supposed to be all about religious and focus and all that? Why didn't Jesus turn the water to Gatorade?
because Gatorade.
If you're not drinking your religion, doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That's right, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because everyone loves wine.
Exactly.
But you can't worship God on wine. We need Gatorade fuels your religion.
Oh, God.
Preston sponsored.
Okay, like if Jesus' story had happened in the 21st century.
John. All right. No.
Oh, I liked it. I mean, I've been a pretty big fan of your story since you started presenting it. I think the 2-page spread on the background works well. Your placement of the smaller panels was a little off. I thought they were supposed to go like clockwise or something, but it seemed to.
It's more circular than clockwise, so. But.
So just remember that if it's going to be 2-page, you're going to have a crease down the middle.
Yeah.
So anything that's going to be directly centered is going to be over the gutter.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. But
so
that's why I tried to get it on 1 page, but you're right about having it on 2.
But if you did it more clockwise, and you start say on the left, on the upper left, and then you go to the middle left, and then you have the middle right, and then the upper right, and then middle, lower right.
Yeah,
you can kind of do that.
That a bit anyway in the next draft, so that's probably a good point. Avoiding the crease is always a good idea. So,
and
it'll save your art team because you can't guarantee what it's going to look like when it prints over a crease.
Mm-hmm.
Digital comics are easy. You can do all kinds of things because you don't have a crease.
That's why I usually avoid the 2-page ones. But anyway.
But sometimes you need them for those big scenes.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that I liked. I think that worked. I think you just got to play with your placement a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. The way you ended it, the kind of the cliffhanger ending was pretty good. I like that. I think when you introduce the helicopter, you should actually mention make and model and photo reference.
Yeah.
That way we know exactly what it is. That way your artist knows what he's looking at. And we don't have to wonder.
So.
Okay, all of a sudden there's guns on this thing. So is it an Apache airship or is it just a regular helicopter and she slides open the side door and raises because if the side door is open and she's laying down, you can then describe that when we get to that part that the side door is now open and she's laying on her stomach with the rail gun.
Okay.
It's a mock Satan 35 helicopter.
That's right. Yeah.
Sure. So I think clarifying that could work. And I think that would basically be it. I mean, the rest of it's pretty tight. And I mean, besides your page numberings are all hell, but I think we gave you enough grief over that.
Yeah.
He did a solid. We need more Satan. More. Should have just had 3 panels of them, just different angles of looking at Satan. You know what I mean? Different angles.
Satan's a pretty cool character.
That's right, man. We don't get enough of the devil, man.
Don't worry, I'm gonna have the other side in there eventually. So.
That's right, man. There are some people now waiting for Jesus. There are some waiting for the polar opposite.
I was kind of worried about that in the story. So I had to talk with Doug Ernst about it. I'm like, is this like really taboo? Can I put Jesus in as a character? He's like, yeah, as long as you don't like go too crazy with it, it should be fine. Yeah.
If Doug Ernst gave his approval.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you're marketing to, because there are places that use Jesus all the time in a really out there way and stuff.
Yeah.
I would say that stories that feature demons as main characters are going to might not attract a Christian audience. So,
or they might attract a Christian audience.
The people that read it may not be are probably less likely to be offended in your portrayal of Jesus than somebody who, most likely a devout Christian that would be offended by your portrayal of Jesus will not pick up your comic based that you have a demon on the front cover.
Probably.
Well, my thing is, we had Devil May Cry, Blade. To me, the American public are, they're numb to anything now anyway. But to me, man, if you got Jesus in there, I would say you reference, what was that movie, The Dude? That movie where, I think it was Big Lebowski or something?
Big Lebowski,
Okay,
If you had Jesus like him, like he's a stoner or drunk, just living as Jesus in life, that would be fine.
Well, But see, we don't know if that actually was a reincarnation of Jesus or if it was just a guy.
Wait, hold on. I'm so glad I'm so glad you're in my Discord so you can share these wonderful thoughts. Glad I base my stories on a story, not on an audience. Very good, sir. Very good. All
There
right.
you go.
All right.
Okay.
Did Lunga
Well,
say?
it's all about the mythos, man. You know?
Did Lunga say more Satan?
I believe that is what Lungo is saying. Based on the audience you're going for, more Satan is
More
Well,
Satan.
Yeah, and like, what does Satan want, or like, how is Satan exemplifying a sin? Is something you can establish through the dialogue.
Yeah, you have to be super angry since this whole thing
Does
is
he?
wrath.
I mean, is Satan wrath in this, or is Satan pride?
Traditionally,
Lucifer's pride.
yeah, like I would say when Lucifer shows up, you want to, if you're going for that theme, you want to make him like super arrogant, really smooth,
Okay.
like.
Oh, he's super arrogant.
So we have some notes. We need more Satan and more demons.
Yes.
Damn right.
There are more demons.
And typically, I like more sex too.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But the last one gave me more than enough for tonight. I understand.
You can never have enough sex and Satan.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah,
that
you gotta.
Time for
That could be a good condom brand. Sex and
That's right.
Satan.
I
You
mean,
gotta-
we're starting to approach shared universe stuff here. So
Yeah.
You gotta. Yeah,
Well,
you gotta
actually-
give Lucifer an aesthetically, kind of douchebaggy appearance and stuff. Do something like have him smoke a cigar, do something.
yeah, I did note that you didn't really give any art direction. So Satan is Satan and Mammon is Mammon. I feel like you should.
I will have that in a separate document.
You know, a thing
I'm
you
gonna put
should
it in the
do.
script this time. So.
Yeah, here's a good tip. Just since your research, just go onto Google and just look up these demons. There's so much artwork of them. It's pretty fun.
Well, sure, but there's a pretty wide variety of artwork.
Yeah,
you
there's a
know?
lot of different descriptions of each character, so
Yeah.
I'm going to draw it out and whatnot.
And I was watching a YouTube video on the appearance of angels.
Yes.
And I didn't think about this, but if you go and you open the Bible and you write the way the angel is described, it's like this weird Cthulhu monster.
Yeah,
with,
well,
they're crazy
eyes and stuff, and
yeah, you saw how I wrote it in the earlier part of the script, right? Like it was a big ball of energy with the eyes going around it and 8 wings, and that's how they appear when they enter Earth, I guess. So.
Well, to me, I would say, dude, two ideas. One of them will be extremely offensive, but I'll start with the
Go
one
for the
that
offensive one.
you should have sound effects of just, when the Satan appears, just you put sound effect heavy metal. You know what I'm saying? You go a little Bill and Ted with it, and then base his appearance on Hitler, and you know what I'm saying? Give him the little stash and the.
I mean, surely there's a more modern example of a fascist.
With a little Bin Laden to it, you know.
No, he's pretty straight demon.
I don't know if you should take that note. I think that one.
Yeah.
We approve that.
Dante's Inferno look to him.
Oh, cool dude, cool guy.
All right.
Towards being constructive with notes, one thing I noticed while I was reading a lot of the art direction is that that you've got a lot of panels, especially early on in this portion of the script, where it seems like there's quite a lot of verbs happening in a way that's actually really confusing to figure out what the art direction is. One solution to that, when you've got a main character, put them first in the description. The character is doing this. In the background, this is happening. And then it's really obvious to the illustrator what the focus is meant to be for the panel, and sort of it helps put the framing together.
Okay.
All right, Molby, tell us what we're gonna read here. Name of book.
All right.
So tell us about name of book.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm working on
all of his stories are called name of book.
That's right.
No,
that's actually a really great placeholder. I'm gonna start using that.
There you go.
Nah, it's that the freaking what they call that tool, Final Draft or whatever.
Okay.
It just is harder to fix that part of it. Some glitch.
No big deal.
Some glitch in the program, but it's basically a crossover. I call it a soaring sorority. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a crossover with a indie creator, and it's basically
these. Are we going to see the The duck.
Well, no, I'm
No.
working with somebody on I'm doing that later on. But
Oh
I'm
wow.
working
Okay, so you got like multiple crossovers.
Oh yeah, I'm
I
working with.
I really love how you're just embracing this shared universe concept and working with comic creators and taking their characters and putting them in your stories. I think that's I think one that they must view that as like a powerful compliment, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, man, I look at it, man. You could talk to an indie guy. We could talk with each other. We can't reach the super big guys, and you shouldn't be able to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we might as collab.
You could reach the big guys with a guy of your ethnicity.
Oh, no, sir. Black lives don't matter in comic books. I say live on the stream.
That's
just a little bit of
behind any
not,
you have to fix that.
These words cannot be recanted.
Okay. All right, cool. So what is the genre? Well, first up, what is the story actually going to be called?
No, Soren Sorority. It's
Soren
basically
Sorority. Okay.
I'm doing a Sailor Moon-esque superhero book where I get a lot of females teamed up in like a book, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they got facing.
Given how you feel about females, I'm a little worried.
Sir.
All right.
Sir.
Coming down from the lofty big towel planks, we're now going to write a bunch of women. All right.
Sir, I'm a good, wholesome man.
Is this going to be another 9-year-old in a 19-year-old's body?
Well, I see.
All right, how much child abuse are we gonna see?
Oh man, I've changed my ways.
Okay. All right. Who should narrate for us?
Well, Preston could narrate.
All right.
All right.
I'll give Melinda to Larry.
Okay.
And it just switches a lot. So I'll give Melinda's father to Danny. It just flips. It's one of those scripts where we're in China 1 second, we're in America. So I'll just assign them as we go. Don't worry about it.
Raining heavily, storm clouds. Oh, by the way, before we get started, I gotta thank you so much because this is not as much text as you usually hit me with, so you're getting better. And I appreciate. I want to immediately call out. This is better. We're stepping in the right direction. Still passive voice. I notice. Raining clouds, storm clouds, middle of the ocean as Melinda. So we don't have a verb here. The first verb we get to is Melinda is on the fishing boat, looking towards the ocean, pointing at what appears to be a tornado, not too far from the ship as her father is running towards her. So, it's not a big block of text. It's a bit evocative, still passive on the voice though. But
and if she's 16, she's obviously a teenager.
Oh,
yes, that too. Yeah. So there's some redundancy.
Yes, but so expect some uncomfortable stuff for John then.
Well, wait, hold up. According to Peter Pan, we are now BS. Cool. All right, there we go. I think Pan interpreted my favorable comic review. What can you expect from Pan? Sure. All right. Raining heavily, storm clouds, middle of the ocean as Melinda, a young teenage girl of 16, is on the fishing boat looking towards the ocean, pointing at what appears to be a tornado not too far from the ship as her father is running towards her. Caption, Haitian shores.
This isn't a good thing, right, Daddy?
2 D's and Daddy. D-A-D-D-Y.
Yeah. That's okay.
I'm bad on that.
Who's the dad?
Oh, I said that was Danny.
Danny.
I'm muted. Sorry, I had to go get some water.
Okay.
Honey, we have to get into the room for shelter.
Belinda's father is holding onto her, running towards the room entrance of the fishing boat.
They'd be going below deck.
Or into the cabin. Yeah. It could be to the cabin. If there's a cabin, that could work.
Okay.
I blacked out on the words on that part.
So a better description of the fishing boat obviously would help with that.
And we already have predictions of sexy demon fish.
What have I got myself into?
There you go.
We'll be all right. That's we apostrophe LL. We'll be all right. Just hold on to me. We'll get through this.
A tornado, and again, a tornado is not heading. A tornado heads straight towards the fishing boat. Lightning strikes the fishing boat. The boat,
Fishing boa.
yeah, the boat explodes into pieces.
Maybe we will have demon sex.
Yeah.
Fishing boa.
Yeah, exactly. By a large amount of lightning. Page 2, panel 1. Rooftop open casket ceremony overseeing the city. Lanterns all around. Akimi, the secret identity of Meika Reika, is leaning up against the balcony, tears streaming down her face, away from the open casket, viewing behind her where a crowd sits awaiting her.
You could be a Kimiko, John, and Candace. That could be Will. Yeah. Candace, I mean.
Candace.
This moment I weep, for it seems all is lost without you.
Akimi is hugging Candace, secret identity flow on. Akimi still in tears.
Is she like only like a superhero 1 week out of the month?
No, it was.
I mean, when her superpowers come when she gets her flow on.
This is why, man, I suffer from the post-traumatic depression.
You got a superhero female superhero with the name Flow On.
No.
That would almost be better for a super villain, because then she's a villain 1 week out of a month.
All right,
you made it.
Candace.
Girl, you know me. You know, no way me miss such a moment.
Panel 3, front. You both, Akimi and Candace, are staring at the city ahead and below the balcony.
Look at here. Me know this truly a time for your heart, but him need a you to be there and give a speech. Fin of him memory.
Yeah, I was writing it with a Jamaican accent.
I understand.
Okay.
My bad on.
That's fine.
Trust me, I know it's just that my whole life was our relationship. I can recall many times where I would tell him that I'm a big girl ready to face the world and no longer needed him to watch over me like I was still a child. A little exposition-y there.
It happened. Akimi is wiping her face as Candace is now in tears.
To think me said no cry to keep you strong.
What was that?
Just please be there with me as I give my speech. I don't think I'll be able to otherwise.
Panel 5, Akimi is standing on stage in tears as Candace, beside, also in tears, before them an open casket with her deceased 60-year-old father.
I have never known my father to be no less than a caring, nurturing man. To see him like this, silent, cold, without the warmth he brought to this world. He has me shattered as I stand before you, for never did I ever once believe that I would no longer be able to be Daddy's little girl.
I like that line.
It's nice.
Yeah. It's a nice evocative line.
Yeah.
All right, page 3, panel 1, front view, shot of the people sitting in attendance on chairs. Taiga Panda is in tears, along with the people seated beside him.
As much as it aches, I'm just even in this moment of all moments thankful. So thankful that before he left this world, not only did my father live a full life, but that every second within his presence, he ensured that all those who knew him knew that above all, he had love for them.
Panel 2, Akimi is kissing her deceased father on top of his head, who is in the open casket. Akimi still in tears.
Daddy dearest, I won't spend my life soaking and drenching the world with my tears, for you left far too many reasons to smile from just being given the honor of gracing this world as your daughter to do such a thing. I am going to spend my life echoing aloud laughters and shining of smiles during the darkness of sunless times, for the love you have showed me with I shall so long I shall share so long as I draw breath.
I've noticed a trope that you use of a very strong father-daughter connection in your writing mode.
Hey, man.
Happens a lot.
Gotta show the father some love, man.
There you go. There you go.
Wait, what about the sons? Show some sons some love.
Hey, we keep the sons in the yard with the dog.
Wow.
Sexy Chick sells comic books, so that's
right.
why you...
So much for being MGTOW, Moby.
Oh, he might have to hand in his card.
He had scripts with boys in it before. It was it's like, you remember that school one? Yeah.
All right. Who's narrating?
Oh, no, you narrating.
Am I narrating? Okay. Kimmy is holding Shandis's hand, both in tears, as Taiga Panda is sitting beside the casket in tears, holding a photo of Kimmy and her father. Alongside him, also, only some security guards can be seen remaining.
Is this Taiga Panda an actual panda this time, or is it a real person?
Oh, it's like a cross between a tiger and a panda.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
All
right, then. It's both.
There we go. All right, Shandis.
Remember to come visit me in New York. I have something I want to share with you.
Kimmy.
Right.
I'll be there. I just doubt that I'll cease mourning his passing if I remain in Japan during his upcoming birthday. I can handle the months prior, but that day I'm supposed to celebrate his birth. I can't be here.
Then you'll be in New York with me, and we'll make the day dedicated to his birth an occurrence worthy of his memory.
Panel 4, Shandis is waving goodbye as Kimmy is hugging and crying Taiga Panda.
I know. I miss Daddy too.
Panel 5, Shandis is jumping off of the balcony. Don't do it. Panel 6, Flow-On is flying straight up as Kimmy is waving goodbye as Taiga Panda is looking at the casket. Panel 4, page 4, panel 1, Farmland, deep in the forest of New Jersey, Spring, Erica, along with Night Sparrow and Tiger Claw are harvesting the beets with wooden baskets in hand. Caption, Deep Forest of New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Danny, you could be Erica, America, Savage, you could be Talon Claw, and I'll assign the rest. It ain't that much.
Seems we'll be harvesting a bountiful harvest this spring.
I would dare to say far finer than yesteryear, don't you think?
I would second that. The land must truly be in a state of peace.
Panel 2, an extreme close-up of Talon Claw's eyes, then a flying Molotov cocktail. Panel 3, Molotov cocktails are flying from all around from above as Night Sparrow and Talon Claw are holding the wooden baskets full of beets, looking towards the sky as it hails Molotov cocktails, while Erica is on her knees picking up beets.
Holy crap.
Panel 4, a priest has a Bible open in his hand surrounded by parked vehicles on his followers of men ages 18 through 40s, black, white, Mexican, that are throwing the Molotov cocktails towards the farm.
Oh, yeah, John, you could be the priest, man.
All right.
This land must be burned until the will of God rises from the ashes. This land must be purified. As for those who live here, may they burn for their lack of faith.
Panel 5, the priest is still reading from his Bible and his followers cheer, watching the farm and land engulfed in fire.
The Lord shall bear a reward, for we have served in ridding this world of these foul sinners who dare not claim this land in his name.
Page 5, panels 1 through 5. Erica's, so I guess this is a sequence of panels here.
Yeah.
Erica's axe flies right through the fire, hitting a follower right on the head. Talon Claw leaps right out of the fire as some of the followers witness a shock. Talon Claw is slashing through multiple followers with his claws. Some followers are drawing out their guns as Talon Claw is facing many. Sparrow Feather tipped arrows over 50 are flying out of the fire, hitting the armed followers, some on the head, heart, and so on.
And so on.
Page 6, panel 1. Night Sparrow is walking through the fire, aiming her bowing arrow, while Erica is walking through the fire with tears in her eyes and a face of anger. Panel 2, followers are running away towards their cars as the priest remains reading the Bible.
They may run, but I have the will of God beside me, and you will be punished for your pagan ways.
Panel 3, Erica America is holding the priest by the neck with her axe in her hand as the followers, those that did drive away the bodies of those that have died on the ground, Talonclaw and Night Sparrow are facing the fire that is now engulfing their entire land.
Listen here, you false man of faith. We were here long before the pagans, and damn sure we're here long before you arrived with your Bible to preach bylaws you've never followed.
Panel 4, Erica is pointing her axe towards the fire while still holding on to priest by the neck.
Your kind sickens me. We have found peace in living apart from your society. Yet you intrude upon us, though we have given you no cause. Our suffering will never be enough for you.
The priest is holding the Bible towards Erica's face while still being held up by the collar.
Your people will not be forgiven until your trail begins in hell, pagan. The power of Christ compels you.
I'll send you there first. Something.
Man, I'm on the priest side, man.
There we go.
I'm on the this tree huggers and stuff.
All right, look, we can get into the preferred fascist form of government later on, really.
Yeah.
Did you say our preferred form of fascism?
William's a little fascist.
Not really. Just I saw us do some LARPing as well.
Page 6, panel 1. Oh, wait, that's me. Erica is tossing the priest onto the fire as Night Sparrow and Talonclaw watches his body flies over towards the fire. Panel 2, Erica is picking up the body of a deceased follower of the priest as Talonclaw and Night Sparrow walk towards her.
They may not have been those worthy of our hearts, but their corpses do not deserve to conceal the beauty of this land. Let us give them a barrel.
Oh, it's a burial, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, man. Barrel, yeah.
All right, then.
Give him a fucking barrel, man.
Panel 3. In an open range in the forest, the bodies of the followers, corpses naked, are on their back in a circle as Erica is on her knees in prayer, along with the Talonclaw as Night Sparrow behind them is aiming her bow and arrow towards the sky. Hours after sorrow. Oh, I like that caption.
Yeah, that's a really good caption.
Yeah.
And they're naked. They clearly need a barrel.
There we go.
Though their
my
actions,
script again?
There we go.
Though their actions were unworthy of remaining amongst the sounds and harmony of the bounty of life you have given us all, nature. Okay. May their flesh return to you. Honor the blessing of life we are so grateful to possess.
Flash
once roaming over the ground, now fall below your last act to honor those still living.
Panel 4. Night Sparrow is firing her arrow skywards. Far above them, the arrow can't be seen heading further towards the clouds. Who's Night Sparrow?
No, that could be Larry.
Larry.
Which one's Night Sparrow? Okay. Sparrow, arrow, cloud, bound.
Panel 5. The arrow is falling towards the middle opening of all the bodies of the followers in a circle. Panel 6. The ground from below is rising 15 feet towards the sky, along with the bodies. Page 7. Panel 1. Night Sparrow is on her knees, praying that Erica and Talonclaw in front of them land, soil, and land that has completely covered all the corpses that were once there, and Sparrow arrows sticking out of the ground.
Oh, yeah, hold on. I gotta switch it up. Larry, I need you to do the narrating. Then, John, I need you to read the Abyss one. And, Preston, you can read the Gatsby line.
Oh, hell yeah.
Abasi?
Yeah, Abasi, my bad.
All right. Panel 2. In the Middle East, a hot, sunny desert day on a high mountain trail, Gatsby, Guinevere, and Abasi are all dressed in proper explorer gear. So backpacks, cargo pants, short says shirts and boots.
By the way, Danny, just so you know, I'll say I've pioneered this concept of indie creators just openly sharing their characters with each other, and so those are my characters from Guinevere and the Divinity Factory.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Okay, cool.
Caption.
All right, caption. Yeah.
Egypt, 1 week later.
Look, Gatsby, you owe me, so keep your mouth like a locked door.
I owe you, sir. When was that debt established?
Panel 3, Abassi is holding Gatsby by the collar over the edge of the mountain trail as Guinevere looks on with disappointment.
Don't you dare act as though you can't recall what you lost.
Christ's sakes, man, it was over 200 years ago.
Gatsby, you don't get over what you lost as long as you live. You grow to fester obsessively about it, you disgraceful hooligan.
Abassi, let's go. Oh, yeah.
Panel 4, sorry.
We switched narrators.
Yes, Abassi let's go of Gatsby, dropping him off the trail edge. Panel 5, Gatsby is flying, yelling at Abassi.
You haven't seen me in over 20 years, and you have the never to toss me aside over such debts.
Yeah.
The nerve, my bad. Man.
There we go.
As though a charlatan as yourself would never die with such ease.
All right, I got a little question here. So Gatsby, so Gatsby is flying back. Okay. Why, if I were not a gentleman, I would strike some decency into your ill mind.
Page 8, panel 1. Abassi is
Guinevere says, just make out and get it over with.
Abassi is standing in front of a closed entrance to the cave on top of the mountain, an ancient door, with what appears to be a large hand symbol. As Gatsby looks at him, scratching his head, Guinevere pours water over her head.
Oh, Danny, you can read the Guinevere, my man.
Sure. Oh, it's hot as an oven out here during a winter's day.
Behind me lies what should be a fortune. It has been said throughout the villages that no one has entered this cave in over 500 lifetimes.
Seems like a lock requiring a multi-focus of magic.
Panel 2. Abassi is leaning up against a stone door with his hand on the open palm symbol. As Gatsby is rubbing his hands and Guinevere is drinking water, because that's what Guinevere does. She drinks water.
That's right. She looks good doing it.
I mean, she's also very wet already after the last
Yes, come on, man. What are you doing?
Is she wearing a white tank top?
There we go.
She should be wearing a white tank top.
Seems though you are still as childish as ever, with that your wit is still sharp, Gatsby.
Of course, and by my eye to open this, you're required 2 more possessing a great understanding and expression of magic, correct?
Right on the money.
Panel 3.
Panel 3, Gatsby and Abassi and Guinevere have all of their right hands over one another, standing a few feet away from the stone door, blasting the palm symbol on the stone door with a magic ray of energy. Panel 4, small panel, the door is opening vertically. Panel 5, Abassi is walking towards the cave with his hands up on the fire, acting as a torch. Gatsby has his arm around Abassi with a smile on his face, and Guinevere is walking beside them.
Here I thought you'd gone and lost your mind living under the scorching sun for over 200 years.
Can't honestly say I'm all the way there.
Part of mastering magic, I doubt a single one of us would pass a sanity test.
Looks like you have chosen a proper pupil, Gats.
What can I say? 30th time is the charm.
What do you mean by that, Gatsby?
He gets around.
He's such a slut.
Look, if you're a wizard, I mean, the world's your oyster, right?
Page 9, panel 1. Bats are flying towards the 3. As you can see, statues of Egyptian soldiers leaning against the walls. They are 10 feet tall.
Something about this place gives me the chills, old boy.
Chill of wealth or fear?
Wealth, of course.
Gats, you haven't changed a bit.
Panel 2. In front of Gatsby, Abassi, and Guinevere lies a 20-foot broken bridge that leads to the other side.
First the scorching desert, a strange door, and now this. I have a feeling this is a sign of sorts, Gatsby.
A sign that this won't be a dull moment.
Couldn't best those words if I tried.
Panel 3. Abassi is tossing fire from his hand.
Moby. Abassi tosses fire from his hand.
As a fireball. Yeah.
Or he throws a fireball.
Throws a fireball.
Like the way.
Very bad.
All right.
Whoever the Bassie is.
Oh, let there be light, as they say.
Light indeed.
Panel 4. Gatsby and Guinevere are watching as Abassi runs on the side of the wall towards the other side, with the ball of fire above them lighting the entire cave.
Running without taking a stretch. Here I thought you were less of a risk taker these days, pal.
Well, your reckless nature, shall I say, has influence.
Gatsby is holding onto Guinevere, flying forwards to avoid the strike of an Egyptian statue, striking them with a spear from behind.
And here I thought you were just here for declaration, darling. Should that be decoration?
Decoration, yeah.
Probably decoration.
Well, so far, that's all she's been doing.
She really hasn't done very much. Yeah.
Hey man, go by the '90s rules, man. It's eye candy. You know?
Well, yes, but
Apparently.
I'm saying it's fine that he's pointing out that she's there for decoration, but you
No, I was talking about the soldier.
Yeah,
My bad. That was
But it's kind of funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I told you, but okay, that's what she's for.
That's the
Yeah.
this form of
Gatsby,
life probably has
chills of wealth. Chills of wealth.
Yeah.
It is strange that he gets chills of wealth. You're quite the unthinkable woman at times, darling.
Thank you for ignoring my intuition, Gatsby.
You're welcome, darling.
Page 10, panel number 1 through 6. Gatsby is flying ahead of Abassi, who is running up the wall, up against the wall. Sorry. Gatsby.
Looks like your track days are behind you, buddy boy.
Keep flying and mind yourself.
Over the bridge, a group of 9 ancient Egyptian soldier statues are waiting as Gatsby continues to fly towards them. Gatsby is flying right through the legs of the ancient Egyptian soldier statue that is striking with its sword.
Slow and steady wins the race, though never gets the kill.
Abassi is leaping over 3 ancient Egyptian soldier statues. Gatsby is firing magic.
Gatsby fires magic
towards the ceiling of the cave. Spike stones are falling towards the
Spike
ground.
stones fall.
Along with bats flying towards the ground.
All right,
where did Guinevere go?
Yeah, there we go.
So, just finishing that page. That page needs to be describe the panels that are actually happening. I think your panels 1 through 6, and then you list a bunch of things. Is just a little confusing.
A little bit.
All right, I'll start. Mulby, your writing is improving, and I think that happens when you keep participating, you keep writing, you keep bringing it in. You're getting better, and I'm glad to see that. I no big blocks of text this time. That your pages are much more concise than they used to be. They're easier to digest. They're beginning to kind of approach a more conventional expected format. Your action lines, still cluttered with passive voice, but they're starting to get to, some very clear action lines. We're seeing some fun character interactions. The dialogue's kind of fun. Lots of people are getting picked up by the neck. I mean, how could you not love that? So I applaud I'm just pointing out that you are putting effort into the process, and your effort is being rewarded. So very good.
So is this supposed to be like issue 1 of a comic?
Nah, it's like a graphic novel.
But this is where the story opens. Is what?
Okay. Because I was a little lost, especially when you transition into like Guinevere and Gatsby and stuff.
I was going to wait for the constructive elements, but I do feel you could actually give us a little more exposition, because I'm a little unclear as to what the connection is, and I'm unclear on that.
Well, when it goes further, they go in the cave, they gonna unleash the big bad, the evil.
I'm with you.
That type of scenario.
William, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, the concept is kind of interesting and stuff. Yeah, and I feel like I need to know more and stuff. in order to give more positives and stuff. So like I feel like I'll just need to see where he goes with this.
Larry.
Yeah. Positives.
Yes.
Pacing's pretty good in the Guinevere section, I think. The other sections felt a little rough, I guess. Like, I think they just need a little bit of reworking or whatever.
So I mean that section was there's like a funeral.
Yeah,
and
well,
some
no,
superhero ladies. Oh wait, all right. So we got the superhero ladies.
There's
attending
also
a
an
funeral,
evil priest,
yeah,
and then there's like an evil priest,
And then there's a hurricane.
and then there's a hurricane.
that's how it started. It was
You're right.
the ship, and that just sort of ended, and then it went to Japan, and then we were back in America. So, I mean, it kind of a bit, but you're right. Like, they're not to be constructive or whatever, but yeah, there does need to be some sort of like connection between the scenes, I guess.
That would help.
Yeah.
One interesting way to do that might be to develop some thematic connections. Like you've got, I thought there was going to be one in the transition to the funeral scene, because you've got this sense of danger and then someone's dead. Okay, that works, right? And then you've got superheroes doing superhero stuff, and that goes to the evil priest sort of slowly, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So that sort of works. And then there's some weird earth magic. That was another sort of slow burn sort of transition from, and I'm not familiar with any of these characters, and I haven't seen your writing before. So I don't know if this is helping at all. So just to clarify my lack of knowledge here. So like having it, like you've got this earth mound, and then you've got the desert, and that's actually used really strongly as a setting, the desert. So there's this really effective or potentially effective sort of gesture towards having these thematic breaks between those sections, and I think making them stronger would help sort of bring together like what is happening and why are these different people and why are we in different places, and answer those questions.
Because the parts in the funeral, like, they were really well written. Like, she had some really good lines in there, but I didn't really see how that sort of connected to everything else. So as it goes right now, they just sort of feel like disjointed stories going on, which is probably what you're going for anyway. And then they're going to like line up later on. But as it stands right now, I don't really understand why we're going from, ship out in a tornado to a funeral to superheroes fighting evil priests to Guinevere and Gatsby kind of fooling around in an ancient tomb. So yeah.
Yeah, priest had some good lines.
Yeah.
Got some, the
statues coming to life could be really great visually. Really cool. I'm all over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very like Indiana Jones type stuff. Tomb Raider type stuff. I like that. So yeah.
John.
I liked it. I mean, it was a little, for an ensemble piece.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got like the whole I guess kind of like an Avengers vibe to it. Where like, because I think they started out where they kind of had all kinds of different things going on all at once. But so I mean, it's for I get that it's an ensemble piece, so I tend to give it a little more leeway. I think if I was more familiar with some of the other characters, I think it could really be an interesting development on that. I do think even for 10 pages in and not sensing a through line, I think is kind of where it's weak. And I don't maybe what do you say, foreshadow like the big bad first, and then we kind of go to our disparate characters. I was trying to think of like other stories that do something similar.
Well,
You know, because I think like in Avengers, Loki steals the Tesseract in the very first scene.
yeah.
So then when we jump around to all of our characters and what they're doing, yeah, we already know them, but we already know that Loki stole the Tesseract, so we know where we're going. So we're okay spending.
I would say that the conflict was established.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So as of right now, we're 10 pages in and no conflict has been established. We have a
Right.
bunch of separate people doing separate things.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on the DC side, when they did the animated Justice League War, they did a very similar thing where they introduced Darkseid pretty early on in that animated movie, and then we were introduced to all of our characters and what they were doing, and eventually it kind of did a very similar thing. So I think maybe if we can set up the conflict earlier, then when we go into our desperate scenes, we kind of have an idea of where we know they're eventually going to all get back to that thing, and if the conflict is going to be somehow released from the cave-in or whatever, maybe set something up like you could do a flashback where maybe the demon gets trapped in the cave first.
Actually,
Then we introduce of all our desperate characters. Then when we go to Gatsby and Guinevere in the cave that we had previously seen, then we know, ooh, okay, something's going to happen now. You know?
yeah, actually, I think the easiest thing to do if you want to keep the story going fairly the same as it is, you open with Guinevere, Gatsby, the Batsy scene because it's kind of lighthearted. Open up with that, have them release the demon, and then go into the darker stuff. That would work as a really good setup. So yeah.
Just
The
thinking
only thing about that idea that I would see would be because you're setting up these guys as our main characters, and then you're setting up the main conflict, and then we're introducing all of these other randos,
Yeah,
and that might be a little off-putting if you want to have more of an ensemble thing where yes, you're going to have your leader who's like the main character, but you kind of want to give airtime, especially if you're doing ensemble pieces with other people's IPs. You know, like everybody who has an IP invested in this is going to want to see their character get, you know, equal time, we'll say.
not Preston though.
Well, Preston's the one with the IP that's worth 5 digits. So of course, you know, like we know
that's why
and that's perfectly fine that you're going to have your lead IP be the lead character. But I still think that if you want to do something like that, you're better off setting up the thing previously, then introducing all of our characters, then introducing the main characters. If you introduce, because, okay, here's another way to say it. If you introduce the main characters first and then all of your side people are going to be overshadowed by the main characters.
But they always are.
They always are.
True, yeah.
But the point is, if you introduce them first, we're not going to really be following all the side characters. If you do it the inverse, we kind of get to know these characters and who they are before pretty much before the conflict starts. So we get a feel for them. Then we introduce to the main characters, and then the story starts. Which is kind of what Mulby did. The problem was that we're 10 pages in, and we still don't even know what the main conflict is.
Maybe it's the tornado.
Have to have that sort of backstory for the bad guy. That would probably.
Then I would say spend more time on the tornado.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever it is, spend more time so we know what the impending threat is.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing.
Well,
that's kind of.
Yeah, it's like crossover comics or crossover stories in general. You want to have to have a really strong overarching plot line to have it make more sense why they're there. Yeah. Just so it's outside of
it has to be a world-ending threat that brings all of these disparate characters together.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that's why I thought opening with the Guinevere part, like if they're going to release this evil force, then you switch to the tornado scene, so you start to see all these weird weather patterns and all the scenes right at the end of the scene that sort of connects them together. Like, oh, they released this demon. This is stuff that's happening elsewhere in the world at the same time. But then you see all this weird weather stuff happening. And
I would say you could do something like that if you could tie, let's say, so here's an idea. So you start with Guinevere and Gatsby. They released, we're talking hypothetical. That is your plot line, right? They release a demon and that becomes the main villain.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you could start it with Guinevere and Gatsby. They release the main demon, right?
Right.
Then we can cut to one of the other stories. We cut to the funeral, and she gives her heartfelt speech. But at the funeral, something related to the demon happens, and bam, they go off to fight. Then we can cut to the other story. We introduce them in their normal story. They fight the priests, and then bam, something related to the main conflict happens, and they go off to fight it.
Look at John, the script doctor over here.
And then
So
jumping off of John's point there, if you don't mind. Sorry, I just had a really cool idea that might actually help. If it is the tornado, it's make it because of the tornado. So, okay, we've got the tornado, it's got the thing with the boat, and then there's the funeral, and then something about the tornado interrupts it, and then something about the tornado or weather patterns is screwing around with the farmland, which causes the priest to set up a posse.
Yeah.
And so if you use because to answer those questions and tie it all together, that gets you a really strong through line through those disparate characters and how they get introduced to the conflict.
Actually, let me ask, what was the point of the tornado?
Oh, well, it's one of those cases where a character just got its power. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so the character on the boat got the power of the tornado?
Yeah,
okay.
Like lightning strike.
Right, because I had a feeling, because you introduced the tornado before we introduced the demon, so I didn't think they were related. So I would say after you have the demon get released, then we introduce the boat. But let's actually see what happens. Let's see the tornado hit, and then the power person becomes
cool
Tornado
if
Girl.
they were related.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like, what if the demon's power gives the other person their power? That would kind of be a nice little connecting plot thread, right?
Yeah, and then that person's the only person strong enough to fight the thing that created her, or something like that, because their powers are related, and she can get through his armor, or something like that.
Right. She's young, so
but then you don't have your 5-digit IP vanquishing the bad guy.
That's
You don't need that.
No.
It's an ensemble. They all do it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They go to Gatsby and say, "What's your superpower?" And he says, "I'm rich."
One thing that you do really well is actually establish what all the characters, or most of the characters, can do, aside from the people on the boat. But like everyone else, you get a pretty good idea. Like, okay, they can fly, or they're like animal people, or they're just like super badass like fighters, or like whatever. So all of that comes across really well. Like, I can see all those parts being put into a puzzle where everyone's skills helps them defeat the threat at the end.
Thank you for that, man.
Yeah, all in all, like I said, your pages are getting better. So I think the story has promise. And I think we've given you some good ideas. Yeah.
I hope so.
I'm going to flip it, man. Y'all gave me some ideas to flip the pacing.
Cool.
Because what I plan to do is... I plan to open, after what Larry said, I'll open with that, because I'm doing one of those things where, Preston's character is established. I'm using Preston's character more like a Doctor Strange. I mean, is that what he is, Doctor Strange on Marvel?
Yeah, he's the magic guy.
Yeah. So I do that, he'll unleash the evil, but he doesn't vanquish the evil. It's more of we got our money, things happened. Then later on,
because he's just a horrible wizard. He's constantly just releasing demons.
He may be a wizard, but he's still a dick.
Basically.
It's like that stupid Suicide Squad movie. I'm such an amazing, smart archaeologist. I find this rare thing. Let's break it open.
That's right. Yeah. My only other suggestion would be to give Guinevere some snarky lines in the background, just so she's not standing around.
She is kind of decorative.
Yeah, which is fine. She is decorative.
She is decorative. Yeah,
she's usually pretty mouthy in the comics, so you gotta give her a little bit of snippiness there. So.
No, I mean, I'm a user, man. I mean, I don't want to spoil things, but she plays a big role.
I appreciate it.
A big role.
All right. Well, I think those are all the pages we got for this time out.
That was a big show.
That was a big. Well, Danny, thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me and for reading my script.
Yeah, of course. It's a pretty motley crew. But John was with me back when we were in Venice Beach, and we would go to a writer's room that met in a musty old library. And that would like during one period of the year, it was very like kind of a very pro-socialist, maybe a little communist library with like the power fists and stuff, and we'd have the poetry readings and whatnot. Hello, we have pages to present. So
well,
the day that the poetry girl showed up, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I hear you're a writers group. For screenplays. Like, can I read my
that
poem?
Sounds pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, it was, I miss that old group.
I do too.
Yeah.
One of the few things I miss about LA. I don't miss a lot of things about LA.
Yeah.
But that was a really good eclectic bunch.
It was.
I'm saying that Danny, they're the OGs, man. They're the OGs of the writing stream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a
that
triple
was
the OG,
that was in person.
I'm a triple OG. You know?
Is that because you beat OG on 3 writing streams?
Oh, man.
Right.
We gotta have you join in, man, but you gotta get pinned in. It's basically you get in a circle and people just stab you with pencils.
Unfortunately, I believe the janitor is dead, and I don't know if the janitor is returning in John's story.
The janitor.
Yeah.
Okay. He was taken away in a body bag by the coroner. I mean, it was in the script.
John, you had a question? Or not? Okay. All right. Well, next week I may be presenting Fantasy Pirate pages next week.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
What about Lords of Iron?
Lords of Iron, I think it's kind of done.
Okay.
I feel like it's kind of done. Feels right. My editor colorist read over it, and he was like, it needs some more mecha. So I went in and added like a few more panels and pages, so that kind of gave a little more stuff to it. So I didn't need as much mustache twirling there on the end. So
cool.
Yeah.
COVID going on in California.
Oops.
Okay.
All right, John. Farewell.
Wait, if you say California, the stream just get no. It doesn't.
Wait, hold on. He's back. What was that you were saying, John?
Sorry, I had internet connections. No, I was going to say that since California's under COVID lockdown, you could maybe reach out to some of those people and see if they want to join our writer's stream.
Yeah. I mean,
we'd have to stop talking bad about them every time we bring them up.
I actually contacted God, I forget the guy who runs it now, but he's a good guy, and I'm like, hey, since you're doing Zoom, it'd be like old times. Can I bring my pages on? But he was like, we don't accept comic format. I'm like, oh.
Oh, come on now. It's not that much different.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, it's not that different, but whatever. Anyway.
Well, you could invite some of them to come on here. The ones that don't get to show pages all the time.
That would be a good idea. I could.
Because they got a wait list like crazy.
They do. Yeah, I should probably do that. You're right.
Yeah.
I could poach some of the writers. Although I gotta say, that group was very left-leaning, which is fine. But this group is rather right-leaning, which is also fine. But if we mix those two groups together, it's like matter and antimatter, and there might be. I don't know.
Okay.
We just got tone down like the sexual stuff, maybe.
No,
it's not the sex stuff. It's politics stuff.
Yeah, the politics.
It's politics, but like scripts actually have politics in them.
I mean, given some of the stuff Aaron wrote, they didn't really care too much about the sex stuff.
You're right. I miss Aaron's scripts, man. Those were awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
and how strange is it that I've now been tasked with writing fantasy pirates? I feel like calling Aaron.
See, we totally Need to bring them in somehow.
Oh my god.
That would be really fun.
Rum sodomy and the lash.
But no, seriously though, like
Yeah.
how many of our scripts actually have a lot of right-leaning politics in them? I mean,
Yeah, no.
Oh, the
I
one
don't mind
with-
you, but I don't have right-leaning politics at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, like chapter 1 of my story had the main character like punch it in a communist. If that,
yeah, but
I mean,
I mean, everybody.
he was
can
a
agree
terrorist,
with that,
though.
right? He was a
Yeah.
terrorist, yeah.
Uh,
No, I think there's not a ton of politics in the work.
No.
Oh, there was any. Hey, man, Larry's had Satan, and that's very
well, I
right.
mean,
That's
religious
very.
things
That's
are
leaning
one
very
thing.
right.
That's true. Yeah.
No, it's not really politics. I mean,
Yeah, no, Satan's definitely
not
right on the
like-
political spectrum.
Yeah.
We just need to make a rule. We just need to make a
Larry's
rule.
got-
No
Larry's got
politics.
my
That's
back,
all.
man.
Satan's apolitical, man.
Oh,
That's
man.
his deal. He doesn't care.
Now,
He'll take
if I-
anyone.
if I had like Trump come out and like punch, an angel in the face or something, that would be different.
Well, no, and John was there. Like
Yeah.
back in that Venice group, there was one woman who was working on her Trump story, and it wasn't a very good Trump story.
Oh man,
But she was like, "Look, I'm showing he's an idiot." Like, yes, I understand. Yes, he's an idiot. I got that. But there needs to be more stuff.
fuck Trump.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck Trump gets old after like 2 or 3 pages.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
anyway, all right. I think we're done, and hopefully, again, welcome, Dan. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. If not, I understand.
I've got more than one project in the works. I'm not sure about next week. I've got a Kickstarter like ending tomorrow night, so I might just have to do production stuff.
Sure.
But I've got other things. Since I'm not going to really hit anyone's sex quota to get the audience feedback
There you go.
from the viewers, like maybe I'll share just the hundreds of dead babies story.
That's fantastic.
oh, there you
So-
go.
Any, more
I
Satan.
mean, sex is not
No
required
Satan
either.
whatsoever.
That's right. We
in
need
that
more.
one.
We need we need more Satan. The best part.
More
Thank you,
Satan.
Steve.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? The best part of waking up
Yeah.
is
And Big
knowing that
Steve-
Satan drunk the coffee out your cup.
There you go.
Big Steve is my biggest fan of the writer's stream, and we're still waiting for you to come in and present some pages sometime.
That's right,
So,
man. You
yeah,
get in here. Yeah.
exactly. Janitor, and we got somebody who really wants more janitor broom action. He's a huge fan of the janitor broom action. Maybe it's a fetish. I don't know.
I guess
Oh,
John got his
man.
marching order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I guess I know
All
what
right.
the book's gonna be. Jeez.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been Press and Polter Pocket Jacks Comics. Thank you very much for your time.
More
Take care.
Satan.
More-
Good night, everyone.
Night, guys.